We're live. It's overtime, bitches. How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I just beat Blue's ass a ton. How
Blue,
you doing, Pete?
I'm doing all right. Blue, is your bottom a little burned? Are you a little salty?
Fucking you, Brimstone. Fucking stupid ass cards. Like, no matter what you do, you can fart and it'll kill you still. Like, eat my fucking ass, dude. I'm done. I hope that shit gets bottomed.
It wouldn't be Blue if he wasn't getting salty. And we got my brother back in the house. It's been a hot minute since he's joined us.
Yeah, it's been a big move. Big move.
Yeah, you're all the way across the country now.
East Coast. Making a new life.
You're cutting in and out a little there, Joe.
Yeah, I have push to talk on, but I don't
Why don't you just change
keep
it
letting go of the button.
Hello.
You could change it to voice activated, couldn't you?
No, I think this channel has the push to talk only.
Hi, Darth Vader.
Hang on. Let's missions. Everyone.
You guys still streaming Game Talk?
Yeah, 'cause like Blue, you don't use push to talk, right?
No, sir, indeed.
Let's see. By the way, what's up, XP?
Nothing much. Getting over the fucking flu. I'm feeling better. What you guys been doing?
Oh, just chilling, bro.
Word.
You're a little quiet there.
I too got really.
Do what?
What was that? What was that, Joe?
I too got really sick.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Is XP quiet for anybody else?
Probably.
That's
I'm on my
a little better. Damn, what the hell? There is.
Dun, 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 dun. 7 white people got me smoking crack. Anyway.
The fuck?
Because once you go black, you never go back.
All right, you know what? I'll fix this. I'll just. There you go, Joe. You can now use voice activity.
Fucking righteous.
So we have a new member of the podcast.
Yeah, man. Who's new?
Oh, nobody knew. You know Blue. You haven't met Brimstone yet, but he's been part of this from way back in the day. He's older than me.
Excellent.
And
yeah,
then XP, he's not exactly new either, but you haven't. I don't think you met him.
Yeah, it has been a long time since I've checked in.
It's been a hot minute.
Last time I was here, out WoW Classic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh God.
And you were playing the shit out of that, right?
Yeah, man, I was no lifing it real hard, and then quickly got to 60. Then stopped playing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
did you cancel your subscription or are you still paying for that shit?
BWL is this week, and so or maybe next week, I think the 14th or something.
BWO. What you talking about? What's that?
Oh, so Blackwing Lair, it's the next.
Oh, the raid. Yeah. Okay. I thought we
Yeah.
were talking about a game.
And-
Sorry.
No, the raid's coming out, so I'm thinking about hanging on, but I think my guild kicked me out. So now I don't even know if I have. Yeah, one day they got real mad at. I was taken off the DKP list, and so I was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here," and the dude's like, "Well, your attendance it's been 60%."
Oh,
Like, what the
Jesus.
fuck?
Fuck
How
off.
are you keeping track of that?
Attendance,
You know the
what?
number offhand, like.
A percentage?
I
like
started working night. Yeah, no, he's got it. 6 out of 10, baby. So whatever, I started working
33.3% repeating,
night.
of course.
Repeating of
God, I need to put my phone down.
God, I remember that shit. Fucking DKP and stuff. This is why I never bothered with that shit. And wow, I just went with fucking PvP. I didn't want to deal with any of that nonsense.
I mostly did that my first time through, and for this time, now that you know everything, it's nice to I have top tier weapons and shit
Sure.
like that, and it makes PvP a lot better when you go that way.
Right?
When you PvP. That's been fun, but the thing is, I don't like rogue PvP.
Oh, dude, that was the best part.
I'm not.
Oh,
I know
man.
it should be. I'm not that good at it though. I
Well,
like
no,
other classes a lot
I will
better.
say, like, rogue PvP at 60 was. I mean, it depended on the patch because they did mess a bunch of stuff up with the patches like throughout the game. But 70 was a lot
leveling
better.
was black. Leveling and fighting people and shit. That was then once you hit 60. Yeah, it does drop a little bit. You're a lot easier to get, and it's a lot easier to fuck up your cooldown.
Yeah. And you don't have a lot of the tools that they give you in set. It was so difficult because you want to stealth, but stealth even with all the perks and levels and stuff like that, and then even with like the I can't remember what gave you the speed bonus to stealth, but even with all that, it just became a hassle. Like, you ended up having to camp everywhere because there was no way you were going to run somebody down. But in 70, they gave you Shadow Step, which I think was the best thing for rogues. Like, it was on a cooldown, so you couldn't just use it willy-nilly, but it gave you a great way to close a gap between you and an enemy quickly and let you at least start your attack. And that really helped with rogue PvP in like battlegrounds and stuff.
Well, the good news is they are pretty much guaranteed to release the Burning Crusade.
See, I would almost actually I fucking hate Blizzard, and I do not want to pay $15 a month for a fucking 15-year-old game, but I would almost consider it for Burning Crusade PvP again, because man, that shit was just so much fucking fun.
I know it was really good, but I'm with you though. I'm not giving Blizzard any more money. The best MMO is a 15-year-old MMO. That cannot be true. Someone will come up with a. I'm not even really looking for an engaging RPG, but I just can't find one. Can't find one with a story that's good. Can't find
Have you
one
tried
with a theme I like.
Black Desert Online?
Oh,
Yo,
that
BD
game
I
is
did a
fucking-
while.
BDO is actually really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of
It's hard as
watched
fuck, but that's
it,
what
yeah,
I like
it's
about it.
it's hard and it's complicated. But
I asked
You don't mind?
I asked my buddy if I could get into it. He's like, sure. And he sends me, all right, you're gonna need to know this, and he sends me a whole fucking list. It's like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Don't let
Jesus
don't let
Christ,
that
dude.
don't let that scare you, dude, because it's actually a really
And it's like Jesus Christ, dude. Do you want me to hand in my resume? Do you want my fucking my recommendations? Like, what do you want me to do?
and like the not the class system, but what's the like the jobs, you know, like blacksmithing and shit.
Oh, and there's
Um,
a high chance you'll spend money because it's a Korean MMO.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
there's others.
I mean, that's what.
I hear there's ups and downs with that one.
Yeah, but I mean it's free to
The
play.
combat's great.
Yeah, and
so.
the combat it's man, god damn it. Oh, why the fuck did WildStar have to go under? That was the best MMO, man, for sure. That was everything
Yo,
WoW
but-
should have
Chloe
yo,
been.
wasn't
yo.
went under.
There is hope though. There is hope. PSO2 is going to be launched on Steam.
Oh,
soon,
that's
so-
right. That's right.
And
What's
it's going to be
PSO?
cross. PSO is
Phantasy Star Online.
It is, I played the Japanese on a VPN and it was amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Which one
like,
was Fantasy Star Online?
It's
Was it the one
Sci-fi
that
MMO.
Microsoft-
yeah, it's WildStar, but you know, anime.
Was it shown? Wasn't it shown at Microsoft or no?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
I
Phantasy Star Online was
prefer-
great fun.
Fantasy and medieval
Yeah.
games, unfortunately.
Well, that's the thing
But
about
I could be
PSO
interested
is
in-
it's a whole lot of like medieval type weapons. You know, like the assassin uses like claws and shit, and the
Elder
you know,
Scrolls Online, you talking about?
I mean,
Yeah, but I've heard that was pretty bad.
yeah. There's
I've heard it's good now. I've heard it's like good now. Elder Scrolls Online.
It's you know,
I don't know.
it's like with everything else. There's ups and there's downs.
The problem is I find Skyrim's combat, unless I'm playing a magic user, I find the combat unengaged, like not fun at all. And if the combat's like Skyrim, I'm not sure if I can even like Elder Scrolls
That's the thing.
Online.
It's really hard to do sword combat first person.
Fuck, anything could work at this point.
What I really wish worked out was Conan Exile. I fucking love
What?
Conan.
I
Man.
just people stop playing it or something because I heard it was still pretty popular.
I'll have to check it. I know it had a lot of launch problems.
I definitely still heard about people playing it. I don't know exactly how popular it was, but yeah, you can see. Like I said, try Black Star on or Black Desert Online. There's Terra.
Blade and Soul's really good. I like
Yeah,
Blade
Blade and Soul. There's another anime one too that's a lot like Terra. I can't remember the name. Steam's got a bunch of them, and a lot of them are free to play, so you know you can always try them out.
My problem with free to play is I'm sort of like just wondering what's the catch.
Well, that's
Yeah,
like I said.
yep.
This is why I liked WildStar because it was all fucking cosmetic-y type shit, and I'm down
And
with that.
Depends what if it's like a Korean
Oh,
MMO,
you know
then
what?
it's gonna be some fucking crazy ass money you're gonna be spending.
You know, I forgot about this, but Elder Scrolls Online is really good. I just updated my client so I can start playing it again. If you ever
How's
get
the
a chance.
combat, like the sword combat?
It's actually really good. It's yeah. You
Is
should
it
go
better than
through it.
Skyrim?
It's about the same,
Oh fuck.
but it's
I
an
hate-
MMO though. But it's an MMO, so
I might have to give it a try, but it's like I hate Skyrim's melee combat because it just felt like I was just slashing at a pinata a lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
yeah,
there was
Skyrim,
a block.
Oh no, it's not like that. Where you're no, it's not like slashing a PN. No, the impacts are actually a lot better.
And it's like it feels like you don't really feel brunt of combat. Like I can walk in and take on like 4 dudes and like just not give a shit. If I was like a high level sword user. I don't know. Skyrim was just too easy of a game. At least I think it was too easy.
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't get into it for that reason. I tried making it harder on myself, you know, but then
I installed
at the
mods
point
to
then
make it
you're like
harder.
artificially. Yeah.
There's a mod it's like combat overhaul. It's a really good mod because it fixes a lot of the combat where it's actually like getting hits a big deal and not blocking.
Oh.
It's a decent mod, but there's a lot of mods I install in Skyrim that are just like those mods that are like small toner of life. I said toner of life, like small like life mods, like mods that make dragons harder to fight instead of them just doing what they do. And just improving AI in generally.
Skyrim was really lazily made in a lot of ways. And one guy pointed it out. It's summed up in that the part where you're locked up in jail, and you could, but they take away your stuff, right? But you could just cast all the magic you, and it's like, you don't think they would have thought to make magic jail, jail for magic users? And
This
then
is
it
the College of
reminded me,
Winterhold.
they in Morrowind, there's the slaves, right? And each slave wears on them the bracer that drains their mana. Right? And so it's like, and you don't even, it's never a part of the story. You would just only know if one of them dies and you pick up their bracer and see what it is. It drains their mana. Morrowind is made with such love and care and thought, and Skyrim just feels the next one, buy it from us 3 times and then buy it in VR.
There's a good meme going around I've seen where it says PS5 is launching and then it's Yoda. There is another, and it's instead of his face, it's Bethesda with Skyrim. And it's like, yeah, it's coming. You know it is. I don't know, like, man, that's the thing, because I never got into Morrowind. It was a good game and all, but just like,
I was
don't know,
too.
I never
like,
got it.
I never got it. Like,
I never got into it.
when it came out.
And
I only
I
got
liked
to
it.
like.
Go ahead.
I only got into Oblivion. That's because I was actually able to play Oblivion. Morrowind, I wasn't able to play at the time.
I liked
I couldn't get into
Oblivion
it.
way more.
I
And
think Oblivion was way better too, actually.
Skyrim, I loved Skyrim. I just like, man, it's like with all the Bethesda games. Like, I loved Fallout 3, but there were so many things about it that they improved in Fallout 4. But then again, there were so many things that they lost in Fallout 4. And it's the same way with Oblivion and Skyrim. I really wish, like, man, Oblivion with the Skyrim's engine. Like, please, why isn't this a thing yet?
It's a mod. You should check it out. They already
It's
did
not
it.
even out. The mod's still in production.
Yeah, it's not done yet though.
And that mod's not gonna be
Um,
done until he's like 20 million whatever year.
Fucking Elder Scrolls 10 is gonna be out by the time they get that mod done.
Honestly,
and it's the
Bethesda.
same thing with Fallout 3 and 4. I wish somebody would do Fallout 3 with the Fallout 4 engine, because the story in 3 was so much better. Yeah, it's a shame, because I love Bethesda games.
If Bethesda wants to like make everyone love them again, because right now they're in mixed bags. If they like release a Morrowind remastered, or just like
Yeah,
or
Morrowind and
Oblivion
Oblivion,
remastered,
dude. Release
I'll
them as a
take it.
pack, dude. I would pay $80 for Morrowind and Skyrim remade, or excuse me, Morrowind and Oblivion remade with the Skyrim engine, and it wouldn't be that hard for them to do it. Because the whole thing about the modders doing it is they got to do all that shit from scratch. Like, they got to make all the models. They got to do all the maps. Like, Bethesda should have those assets still, in their systems, and they should be able to transfer a lot of that shit over. And shit, man, they could even hire the guys who are doing the mod to do a lot of the work for them. Like, get this done, Bethesda.
Now-
$80. I'd pay $80 for those two remastered.
What would they do differently about this time around? Would they still have flying and more? Right? They changed, because they changed from that completely rendered versus, I forgot the technical term for it, that flying and levitating. And to me, that's such a huge deal. It really makes that.
What was the problem with flying and levitating in Oblivion?
Because they went from, I don't know, the whole world open to
where
different-
it
I don't
only
know.
loaded up blocks at a time.
yes,
Well,
it had to do with load.
that's a
rendering.
that's a technical limitation that you just can't overcome. They might be able to do it where
You're back.
I could see them coming up with a system to get around it where it still loads up the blocks like normal, like in Oblivion or Skyrim, but it sort of half loads all the rest of them around those. It loads them enough to where it could render like, because you don't need to. That's the whole problem with the whole reason they had to go to that style is because there's just so much in the worlds of Oblivion and Skyrim that you can't hold all that in the memory at all at the same time. But you don't need to hold all of that in the memory to do, to fly. You only need the big stuff that's actually going to be rendered on screen. So I don't think it would be too difficult to come up with a system where as soon as you cast the flight spell, it pulls into, because it's got to hold most of that shit in the memory anyway. It could pull all of the assets needed to just render like the mountains and trees and stuff, and then you'll have the graphics for that stuff loaded. Because you don't, like I said, you don't need all the items and shit like that to load. So I could see a workaround being feasible.
They
Or
well, I
maybe
mean, be, but
they might just have
will
like,
they?
yeah, well, I
They
mean, they're
could
not
just
even
be
gonna,
lazy.
they're not even gonna do this anyway. So, this is
Right.
all hypothetical. But
Hypothetically, I think they'd take the lazy shortcut way.
yeah,
And
they
then it's
probably
not
would.
a remaster for me.
Well, I mean, come on.
That's
Again, this is a technical limitation. It's not like the things they were able to do with Oblivion and Skyrim versus Morrowind. Like, it's a huge improvement, and it's not like they.
but at what cost?
Yeah, that's at what cost. It's. I don't know. It's tough. Like, I certainly don't think it was laziness. It wasn't laziness. The laziness was not the reason that they designed the Oblivion and Skyrim engine the way they did, right? They did it because
I agree.
yeah, there were things they wanted to do with the game that were not feasible with the technology of the previous engine, and one of the consequences of that was that they had to lose some functionality in other ways, and one of them was you can't levitate or fly. So
Fortify
I don't know,
speed, fortify acrobatics.
Like I said, I enjoyed Oblivion and Skyrim a lot more than I enjoyed Morrowind, so I liked the changes that they did. It would be nice if they could. I mean, really, they really just need to come up with a new engine. But the problem is I don't see a. Fuck. I don't see a way they could overcome that technical hurdle of not being able to store the entire, a huge area in the memory all at once, to where it would enable you to do flying. Like it could not be the same way they did it in Morrowind.
Yep. Which is a real shit.
I mean, they almost. That's the thing. They could do it well. Like, one of the things they've stated on numerous occasions that for both Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4, one of the big technical limitations they ran into was consoles, and they specifically said that there were things they wanted to do with all of those games that they couldn't do because the technical limitations of console hardware prevented them from doing them. Now, with the new generation of consoles coming out, at least part of those problems is solved, because now they're basically running pretty high mid-range desktop hardware. I mean, I think it's an 8-core. It's going to be an 8-core Ryzen chip with a Navi. I mean, it won't be like a 5700 XT, but it's pretty close. It said 12 teraflops, which is, I mean, that's getting damn close to, like I said, it's higher end mid-range hardware comparatively to a PC. The only problem is I don't think they certainly won't have, like, it's not going to have 32 gigs of RAM. And then they're still limited on hard drive space, because obviously in a PC you can just keep adding hard drives. In a console you're kind of limited. But at least some of those technical hurdles will be mitigated by the new console generation coming out. So that'll be interesting to see. If obviously it won't be with every game immediately on launch, but if starting with the new console releases after a while we don't start seeing a pretty large improvement to the quality, or it's not so much the quality, but like the scope really is the big one. Like how big games can be, how many assets they can run simultaneously and shit like that. So I'm really excited for this new console generation, not because the consoles themselves are some amazing thing, because I mean, like I said, they're just mid-range PCs, but I don't think we've ever had a console generation where they've been as close as they're going to be to what the average PC gamer has, and that'll be the interesting part. Because there'll be less of a gap between what you can make on a console and what you can make on a PC. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm really excited about that.
I like assets. I like assets, Pete.
What's up, Rev?
What's up, man? I like asset. I like ass. I like titties
Yeah.
too.
Ass
More
is always
assets, the
nice.
better. To make those,
We're pushing
titties
the
pop out
new
in the
console
screen. Yeah, the bigger the ass, the better, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. When they
How am I gonna see those waifus more, man?
when they
on my
downsized
screen?
Laura Croft's tits, man, I was disappointed. Tomb Raider 2, man, they betrayed us.
Hey, man, I like the new.
Double
I like
Ds are
the. I
important
like.
for the story.
Hey, man, I like the new Tomb Raider. I played all 3 of them. Loved every second of it.
By the way, Rev,
Nonetheless.
this is my brother.
What's up, buddy?
Hey. Nice. In fighting game news, they did the lineup this year,
For Evo?
and yeah,
Did you hear crossplay is getting better on
so-
Street Fighter V?
yeah, and the update for the patch too, for that weird the fan made the user made netcode patch.
Oh, God.
Damn.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's glad that
It-
it's fixed,
it-
but it's sad that a user
Yeah,
had to
me
do
too.
it.
Exactly. But
There we go.
maybe it's the change that they needed. Mortal Kombat was left out of Evo
I
this year
heard.
with a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Tournament of Champions.
Hey, someone's cutting out pretty hard. I changed servers to help out with that.
Hello.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like hearing it as like kind of cutting out.
Well, he's been cutting out
must-
a little bit. His internet's not the greatest.
Oh,
bummer.
okay, because I switched it to
Well,
East Coast to help out.
Oh yeah, so that's me. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Tournament of Champions for the first time. I don't know, probably over 6 years, 7 years.
I'm just sad that Mortal Kombat got kicked, and it was for a stupid ass reason too, wasn't it?
I thought it was because Mortal Kombat sucks, a new one.
What? Blasphemy! Blasphemy! What are you talking about? Blasphemy!
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's quote not as popular. It's true.
I mean, I don't know.
I heard it was
I thought
from
Mortal
something
Kombat 10
else.
was bad, and that's what made me hate Mortal Kombat.
Mortal
Like,
Kombat's good, actually. It's just it wasn't like they're still gonna do their side tournaments at Evo.
Well,
They're
yeah,
just
of
not,
course.
It's not a main stage event. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I mean that irritated me when they dropped Guilty Gear from the main event and put that on the
Yeah, I was a
side
little annoyed with
stage.
that too. Yeah, I'm right
'Cause,
there
man,
with that.
DBZ Fighters on there or no?
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
main
it is.
event. It'll certainly be on there though.
It is. Yeah. I know with yeah, Guilty Gear. The past couple Evos, they've really made some questionable decisions, of course.
Right.
But this year it looks okay. I just
Well, it's
haven't
definitely
been
good.
into it since Street Fighter V came out.
I mean, I'm glad that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is coming back. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
gonna
always one of my
be
favorites to
hype as
watch.
shit. Dude,
Oh my
these
God.
these people are gonna go nuts this year.
Yeah. That's yeah, because last year all I watched was the Guilty Gear, pretty much. Did you even watch last year's show?
Yeah, I mainly watched Samurai Showdown, and
See that? Yeah, I checked
Sam
out a
Show was
little of
fun.
that. It's just not that fun to watch though. That's the thing.
yeah,
You know, it's a whole bunch
it's
of
very
tiny little movements and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's just all it looks like is the two people just kind of shuffling towards each other and away from each other the whole time. And like, yeah, I'm
it's
sure
not as flashy. It's
Well, it's
all
not even
fundamentals.
yeah, that's
totally-
it's not even flashy. Like it's all just like because all that subtlety is lost when you're watching it unless you're actually a player and you know the game really well. That's the thing.
not as friendly of a spectator sport.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So, and actually, I was really interested in Samurai
Hey, Brimstone,
Showdown,
I'm gonna
and
drag
Evo,
you
of
up real
course,
quick.
was like one of the first big tournaments. But I was bored of it watching.
Yeah.
You know, after an hour and a half or so, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of bored. So I switched to Tekken.
Especially too because
But
it
they
epitomizes.
kind of-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just I'm happy to see what's changed about it. What does it epitomize?
The like one mistake and then one move is what ends the fight.
Yep.
Like it's the absolute
Samurai
worst
style.
as far as like steamrolling goes, and that's the thing. Steamrolls are not the most fun to watch either. And Guilty Gear and Marvel vs. Capcom are fairly bad at this too, where once a player gets on a roll, it's nearly impossible to stop them because you lose so much. I don't want to say utility. That's not quite the right word, but as soon as you lose one character, you've lost an assist and you've lost part of your super combos, and it just makes coming back like incredibly difficult. But at least in Marvel vs. Capcom and Guilty Gear, it can still happen. It's just really difficult, which makes when it does happen really fun to watch. But with Samurai Showdown, it's just like one move and that's it. It's game.
Yeah, you
Hey,
hit that
hey,
super.
Brimstone, when are we playing more Street Fighter?
Nice.
Whenever you want, dude.
Should play some more. Shit was fun.
So it's unfortunate that it kind of has everything going against it when it comes to it being a spectator game.
Dang, you guys should be playing Street Fighter, and then we have to like take bets on the stream of who's gonna win, or have like random challenges. Those are. We do when the guys and girls would be hanging out. We'd have the girls play, and then we'd bet on who was gonna win and do shots when when your person loses. That was a lot of fun.
Oof. Shots, man. Yeah, I don't drink that much. Oh, damn it. But yeah, that'll be cool. I look forward to. I mean, I always enjoy watching Evo, even if they do crazy shit. So I just hope we
Man's
get.
gotta buy his McRibs.
I'm not looking forward to that new Guilty Gear though, dude. That new Guilty Gear, it's too Street Fighter 5 to me.
I didn't even hear anything about it.
Guilty Gear Strive, like look into it. It looks. I don't know,
Oh,
dude.
yikes!
Yeah, like
That's
I'm
too
just
bad.
like I don't know if it's gonna be good. It looks like they're trying to take the Street Fighter 5 to it, aspect, you know, and dumb it down a bit. It kind of pissed me off a little bit when I saw it. But the combo system's still there. You know what I mean? But like, it's not as good as it used to be, is what I'm saying.
That's
Dude, I
unfortunate.
just watched a thing on this, and the one thing, oh my god, Bikin, one thing that I as soon as you said new Guilty Gear, I thought to myself, okay, games of fucking delay is there gonna be? And so I pulled it up, and guess that the series is too complicated. Next game will be it. That's the fucking death knell right there. There's gonna be easier execution, which I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing, but there's also, I'm sure there's going to be 6 frames of delay in there. So some things are going to be unreactable, even if you physically can react to it, you know? That's going to be bad for the game.
Yep.
Ooh.
It's unfortunate.
Screw that.
Casuals, man. And here's the thing, right? I got no problem with games catering to a casual market. Right? There's a place for both. There's a place for hardcore games and casual games.
Of course.
But it's never the other way around. It's never casual games becoming more hardcore over time. It's always the other way around. It's hardcore games getting casualized because they get big, and then casuals want to play them, and then, but, you know, they're casuals, so they either can't or don't want to put in the work to get good at a difficult game, and so they bitch and whine and moan, and then the developers, you know, start dumbing things down, and like you said, it's like simple isn't like, it's not always a bad thing for a game to get a little simpler. Like, I've got no problem with like, man, one of the best things I think ever happened to first-person shooters was the introduction of a grenade button and a melee button.
Sure.
Because like switching to your knife and then knifing somebody is so silly when you could just have you know, you never use it, you know, like a button to use it. It just makes way more sense. And same thing with a grenade. And you know, that's a lot simpler, but that doesn't mean it's worse. But you know, when you simplify it so much,
that increases execution.
Exactly.
It gives you more options. Yeah.
Yeah, but too often it gets taken way to the extreme, and then, you know, you've just got another, you know, if it's a shooter, you've just got another casual shooter. If it's an RPG, you just got another casual RPG. You know, it's tough, man. That's it's one of the big problems I think was happening with Destiny 2.
What's
How's
happening?
that been going?
They were catering too much to casuals.
I told him I launched because yeah, that happened.
Even now, I mean, that was the.
RIP. I'm sorry that the knife, every time you throw a hunter knife, it doesn't destroy multiple planets. I'm sorry that's not a thing.
Ding, 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 ding. Round one, fight.
Let's
Very
pull out
specific.
some.
I'm sorry that your golden gun, every time it doesn't activate, the stars don't align, and the entire map doesn't get nuked. I'm sorry that doesn't happen, dude.
Let me help you out with that straw man you're building there, buddy.
Does Michael want to be commentator on this one? We can be Golden Boy here.
Sir, whatever you want. Whatever, I'll leave it at that.
God, like, you act like if I was in charge of balance at Destiny 2, then all the shit that I use would just be God Killer instant, you know, destroy
Amen.
mode and shit like that. Like, I'm seriously only asking for things to be balanced properly according to how difficult they are to use.
Tell me about this hunting knife. What's the
Okay,
what's
so
the knife? Quote
no,
unquote,
here's the
in
thing,
Destiny
right?
2?
So before, and this was when it was even
I'm gonna get
worse.
my bowl of popcorn.
But before, for the melee move for hunters was you throw a knife, right? And it actually takes skill to use because it takes time for it to reach its target, and it flies in an arc, so you've got to do some pretty complex visual spatial calculations, lead your target
There.
and all this other stuff, right? And even if you got a headshot with it before, it wouldn't kill in one hit, even though every other class, I think, for sure Titans and Warlocks both of the there's a couple Titan melee attacks that would kill in one hit, and I believe the Warlock one killed in one hit too. And those ones were lock on, auto track. As long as you were within the right distance to your target, you just hit the button and it automatically aims for you, moves to them, and kills them in one hit. And so they changed the throwing knife so that if you got a headshot, which is still not balanced because you've got to get a headshot while leading your target, it kills in one hit. But they changed the knife to where instead of it throwing instantly and then having an arc and taking time to hit the target, now there's a little bit of a delay where you pull it out, flip it, and then throw it. And it's like, man, you got, even when you balance something, you can't even balance it properly because it's still not balanced because those other moves still kill in one hit and don't need to be aimed or you don't have to lead your target or anything. And yet you still can't properly, like, man, even if all they did was just leave the knife how it was and make it so that if you got a headshot it was a one-hit kill, it still wouldn't be balanced because the other one's one-hit kill without needing to do any of that shit. But at least then I would be happy. But they couldn't even do that, and that's not even all of it, because it's the same thing with ultimates. The Hunter Gunslinger Ultimate is the hardest one to use because you actually have to aim. It's not auto track. It doesn't have a shield that protects you while you're using it like a whole bunch of the other ones do. And yet it's one of the worst ones out there because you only get, well, the
I don't know one of the worst. You're kind of underselling it there.
Yeah, maybe not the worst, but it's certainly not at the level it should be given how much skill you need to use it. And that's my big problem with it. I mean, this is how balance works. The things that are high risk, high reward have to be high reward, otherwise they aren't worth it. And none of the high risk hunter stuff is a high enough reward to justify how risky they are to use and how much skill they need to be used. Because there are other skills or whatever that work better than them, even though they don't take nearly as much skill to use. Like, seriously, all the rest of the ultimates, except for there's the other hunter, there's the hunter, the void bow, but that one you don't. I mean, you kind of have to aim, but not. You don't really have to aim because as long as you get it near them, it tethers them. And then all the rest of them are auto track. Like, all you gotta do is fucking click the button and it automatically flies to the target and kills them, and you don't even have to fucking aim.
Which super you're talking?
Warframe and Destiny, they both do this. They outer space, and I fucking hate that. No one's gonna have a bow and arrow in outer. Come on.
Well, no, it's only for the super. Well, no, yeah, there are bows and arrows. You know, whatever. It's
dumb.
It's fine, dude. It's just a little
They're not
variety.
imaginative. Yeah,
You know, because otherwise, everything would just be like a laser gun, and you know, I'm fine with a little bit unrealistic because it gives a little variety. I'm okay with that.
You could do a ton of things. You could have a removable arm cannon. You know, you could have all sorts of stuff. Doesn't need to be a bow. It's a fucking space bow.
I mean,
Why
Warframe
not?
Space Ninjas.
I mean,
Warframe's about
dude,
ninjas, though.
Star Wars, like
Yeah.
space swords. Like, come on, get out of here.
With the Force, you
Still, why wouldn't they use a lightsaber with a blaster? Blaster in one hand, lightsaber in the other. Like, why wouldn't they do that? Because it's not as cool as them going around with just the lightsaber, you know, blocking shots and slicing fools up. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm okay with that in a video game because that's what video games are all about. They're all about, you know, wish fulfillment, fantasy, you know, looking cool. You know, you can do things in a video game that you can't do in real life, and that's kind of the whole point. So I'm all right with it. But balance it properly, damn it. What the the fuck? I put 3 shots. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, with regard to catering to casuals, like that's the thing. It's like the easiest moves to use are some of the most powerful in the game, and it's the same thing with weapons. There was a whole chunk of
But if you
time
wanna-
there where
But if you want to go by the thing by saying the quote unquote casual, not quote unquote casual, because that's a real thing. By saying that, if you look at the numbers, majority of people are hunters. Like, and it's not even like a small majority. It's like 50 to 60% of people are hunters.
okay, so what?
That's not your argument saying it's all about catering to casuals and the minority of people are getting screwed over. But it's like it's not happening at all.
No. Not the minority of people. Not that the amount of people who play hunters are a minority.
By the way, did your brother leg out or?
Oh, I guess. Yeah. There's this way if he, he comes back in if he comes back in. It's not that the minority of it's not that the amount of people who plays hunter are a minority. It's the amount of people who are top tier skill level are a minority.
Little connection problem there. No big
There we go.
deal.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
what
you
it
really
looks
do
like.
have.
So,
I guess you really do have shitty internet.
It's
Yes,
so
it
bad.
sucks.
Do they not have
Having
anything
AT&T.
besides AT&T where you are?
No.
Wow.
Anything else would be a huge bitch to
I was
get
gonna s-
because we're in this apartment.
But they don't even have like consolidated or.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the other options, but just remember it being a real bitch to get someone out here.
Oh man, I'd say it would be worth it. Although I don't know how long you guys plan on staying where you're at.
Exactly. So Blue, how about that big ass rant about the balance? Does that shake out? What are we talking?
I mean, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of strawmanning the other classes because like the warlock, the one where he's talking about that maybe one shots the void military, but you have to you smack him. But it's like you don't even know if you're gonna one shot him because it does a little explosion that does like 35 damage. So it's like 85 damage total with the melee hit. But it's like the only way it really one tap kills you if like you're in a gunfight. He shoots you with like a hand cannon or something like that. Then he hits you.
I'm
and
wait,
kill
I'm
you.
sorry.
Hold-
Handheld
Hold on,
supernova.
hold on.
Handheld
You
supernova
have-
is a grenade.
This is the rebuttal period. He gets to speak
Hey,
uninterrupted
Brisson,
about.
I'm gonna drag you up one more time.
A handheld supernova is a grenade peak, by the way. How a melee works is like, and you're telling me you most likely have been damaged beforehand, because it's like I'm not sure these cases you get one shot by the void military.
Okay, maybe
Solar
maybe fine.
range, but total does only 60 to 75 damage. Bottom tree arc, if you're talking about chaos reach, that does like not the odd damage because like 35 of the 40 damage the chaos reach does. But no one uses chaos reach anyways because it sucks. Stormcaller maybe because you can chain grenade on multiple people. But it's like in terms of melee, the warlocks I can't think of anything that really can one shot someone at full health as a warlock.
All right, fine. Fair
Titans
enough.
they got sun
That's-
hammers.
okay, yeah. That Titans, it's fine. Everything's Titans then, but Titans, it's all of them. Fucking all of them, dude.
Middle tree doesn't one shot, but that's more like you kind of like fly at people.
The other two do though.
The bottom tree one with I think so. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that one shots. Then yeah, the Titan arc one's the one that one shots.
Yeah.
But
And
the counter to that would be is
there's another one too. There's 2 different charges that will
the
one hit
sun
you.
charge. The sun charge.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the
they're
thing
both
with those
auto lock
charges,
on, auto move. All you got to do is be in range and fucking insta gib.
yeah, but the thing is, like, but when they didn't one shot before, it just made them not good at all because you'd hit someone and then the person look at you like what and just kill you.
Fine, that still doesn't excuse not balancing the hunter knife properly.
I mean,
Like, it's-
sure, I guess, but it's like the thing about making those not one shot is you're going to make you have to get close to and make yourself vulnerable. And most of the
It's
time
not
now,
like-
you'll just
you gotta
get
get close
killed
with
with
the
a
knife
shock.
too.
I mean, kind of. You actually have more leeway with the knife.
A
'Cause
little
now you
bit,
have-
but it takes time for it to get to its target. So it's not like you can. It's not like you can have a guy that's 30 feet away and you can just fucking panic
You
knife.
can't hit someone with you can't hit someone with a hammer 33 away. You can't just like I don't know. If you're talking about like sun hit, whatever it's called, fuck it, tism here.
The hammer.
The sun charge. If you're talking about middle tree, you have to get You have to get 2 kills beforehand, and you need exotic to be able to one shot with the melee, with a bit more range, like the throwing knife.
No, and I wouldn't be opposed with the hammer performing exactly like the knife, basically. You know, where it you know, where if you get a, well, but that one you don't have to get a headshot with to one hit kill him though, do you? The hammer.
It doesn't normally one hit kill until you have a stack of flaming roar, which means you have to kill
Okay,
someone
but-
with a
Fine,
melee ability of some
but
kind.
you don't have to get a headshot with it though, right?
No, once you have the actual buff.
Yeah,
we also
okay,
need the
so that's-
exotic to give
So
the damage
that's
buff. to
okay,
kill.
fine, but that's the trade-off. You don't have to get a precision hit with it. The knife you do have to get a precision hit with it. But yeah, like I said, I would even be fine with everything working exactly as it works if they didn't add that stupid little delay to the knife, because that just messes the whole thing up. It's a
But wouldn't
significant
you be able
delay.
to panic knife? Wouldn't you be able to panic knife though, if it was the exact same
Yeah,
one?
if they're within 5 feet of you, just like you can panic melee with everybody, and if you're a Titan, you can panic melee and one tap them. So I don't see the difference between being a Titan with a shoulder charge and panic meleeing and killing him in one hit, and being a hunter with the knife and panic meleeing and killing him with one hit. If you get a head, that's the other thing. You have to get a headshot. And it's not like it's the hardest thing in the world, but it's not like it's exactly easy either, especially if you're panic knifing.
I
So
guess.
there's
I
a
mean,
little wiggle room in both accounts, is what I'm hearing. It can't all be one way or the other. But, wait, what was I gonna?
I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Damn, I have no idea.
I mean, I'm willing to agree with you maybe with the knife thing, but it's just like I'm not sure if like nerfing and making like I don't know the hammer strike, that's what it's called, and hammer strike not one shot would even do anything, especially now
No,
because
like I said, I don't care. I would, like I said, I'd be totally fine with everything working exactly as it does, except for take away that stupid little delay before the knife gets thrown. If that were to happen, it still wouldn't be perfect, because like I said, the charge killing in one hit, it's. I understand why they did it that way, and fine. It's not balanced, but it's close enough. But having the knife have the delay, that just it's such a chintzy ass move. Because even if it didn't have the delay, it still wouldn't be balanced, but it would at least be close enough. Like a high skill player, they wouldn't really care because you could still get a one hit kill, and it would still be. It still requires skill, but it would still be viable enough for use. Because now there's a whole bunch of situations where you can no longer use the knife where you could before because of that delay. Because it's like, before it would be the guy ducks around the corner, and as soon as he comes back around the corner, you hit the knife, and yeah, he might kill you because it does take a little while for the knife to travel, but at least you'd be relatively assured that if your aim was proper, you'd kill him. Now, you don't know because he comes around the corner. If you hit the knife right as he comes around the corner, there's still a half a second before the knife even comes out, and oftentimes you get shot before the knife even gets thrown. And it's nonsense.
right, maybe, but right now it's kind of hard to even do that because the meta right now is a shotgun or an Aaron Tail.
And that was the other thing. Before, knives were actually pretty decent. It wasn't like a panic knife, but if you saw a guy charging at you with a shotgun, then you could use the knife and if they were damaged at all, you might get a kill. But now, you try and do a knife, and by the time you've gotten to the point where it will throw, he's already closed the distance, and he one-taps you with the shotgun. Like, that would, man, if they had left it alone, that would have been the perfect defense for non-shotgun players against shotguns. Because it's not like Titans already have that. They can use their shoulder charge against people with shotguns, and as long as they don't get killed, they're
High chance to get
they're
killed, though.
well, yeah, but so same thing with the knife. I mean, it's you've got just as high of a chance of getting killed with the knife too. But you know, if they miss, then your shoulder charge auto locks and insta kills.
Question 2. What could Blizzard do to make right their fiasco with Warcraft 3? What, if anything, could they?
Wait, what
I
was
say
the
just-
sorry, I got some idiot was chatting in voice chat in game. What was the question?
What could Blizzard do, if anything, to make it up to the Warcraft 3 users?
Man, that'd be tough to do at this point, but if anything, I would say redo the graphics to more what they showed at the was it BlizzCon where they
Yeah.
had so redo the graphics and to make them more like what they had showed at BlizzCon. Undo the changes to the TOS where Blizzard owns anything you make on the. I mean, dude, that right there is just such a fucking slap to the face. It's like, Blizzard, you guys fucked up. You didn't think Dota 2 was gonna be anything, which is stupid because God, that's got to be the most played custom map ever. And because you guys you guys didn't want to pay these guys for their work. Now you want to fucking steal everybody's stuff just in case, you know, so none of that slips through your fingers again. And it's like, no, sorry, that's not how it works, guys. People just won't use your modding tools if that's the way you're going to play it. So yeah, I'd undo
Valve
those
bought 'em.
changes. Well, Valve bought Dota 2. Yeah. After Blizzard passed.
Oh, we're talking about Blizzard again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the. Okay, so I'm on the forum right now. Okay.
I mean, real quick to add my 2 cents. I think to fix it, if they don't want to do anything like that, which I probably think they would never do, to be honest. Allow everyone who owns the original game able to play it again with. That's the only thing I would say they can do right now, because everything Pete said might be
And
too
they actually
unrealistic.
could. Yeah, going back and redoing their shitty models, that's not going to happen. The terms of service they could change, but they won't.
They
But
won't.
what they could do is, I agree, they could put Frozen Throne back and have people the way they wanted to. But, you know, that's life. I
That ain't
guess.
gonna happen either.
So.
Because Brim mentioned it too. He spent like how much did you spend, Brim?
Wait.
Jumping.
Wait. Hold on.
Here.
I just discovered it. Okay, I didn't know about this because I was getting heated. I have Frozen Throne and Reign of Chaos available to me for download in my account settings. It's not on the client, but it's there, so I can still at least play the fucking game. Whew,
Yeah, but
okay,
you already owned it though. That's the thing.
that's what I'm saying. Is I bought that shit at full retail. Remember earlier when we were talking about
Yeah.
how like it wasn't on the client, right?
Right.
Well, if you go into your account settings and you had your key registered, which I
Yes.
did, I registered my
Yeah,
key.
I do too. Yeah.
So it's in your account. Just
Right.
go to your account and then go into games and subscriptions. Scroll down. It says classic games.
Oh, that was not what I wanted to do.
Reign of Chaos and Frozen Throne is there. I can download that and play that separately from fucking Reforged, and that's what I
Only
want.
only
Okay.
single player though.
Is it only single player?
I don't think. I'm pretty
Only
sure
single
when
player.
Reforged launched, they stopped all BattleNet access for the original.
Oh, yeah.
So they still have LAN on it.
Yes.
So
You could do-
So if they still have LAN, then we could just do fucking that LAN online fucking ad hoc thing that they have online that we could do if we ever wanted to play it together.
Fair enough.
Ooh. But you'd all have to be on the same patch, and if you update at all, it will, I believe, go into the Reforged client. Then you'd lose
Oh,
it.
then I won't update. That's
And-
simple. I just
Well,
won't
no,
fucking
no, no,
update.
no, no, no.
Because this is separate. This is completely
yeah,
separate. This
it's
is
a separate download.
which I was worried about because I was pissed. I was like, yo, like why the fuck can't I play my game? Because I was gonna play through the campaign on a stream.
Yeah, because it was
And
the
I
same
didn't
thing
see
with,
it anywhere.
it was the same thing with StarCraft, where you can't get the original StarCraft on the client, but you can still download the original StarCraft install files from.
Which is fine with me. As long as I have access to that shit, dude, that's all I care about.
I mean, the remaster of StarCraft's good though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. The
It is.
remastered StarCraft is actually pretty good, but
Right.
So
see, that's
I'm
the
not,
thing.
I'm not
If they had
hating
just
on
done what
Blizzard
they
as much
did
as
with
I was.
StarCraft with Warcraft 3, everybody would have been fucking happy.
Yep.
But
One
it's
thing
Blizzard.
they could do to get my vote back is they could make a remastered Warcraft 2, and that would be fucking dope.
I mean,
If they say, "Look, we're sorry, okay, here, let's remaster Warcraft 2 and put it out there," that would be so next level.
and offer it for free, maybe.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
maybe
$10.
to win, maybe I think they should make a Warcraft sequel. I think everyone maybe wanted more Warcraft sequel though than an actual remaster.
Yeah, they'd have to retcon. Okay, if they were gonna do a Warcraft sequel, gonna change all the bullshit that they did in World of Warcraft.
That's
Here's
the
what
thing, yeah.
I would do 2 raids. Okay, it's the final battle: demons and undead versus orcs, night elves, humans, dwarves, gnomes, all on one team, right? And it's like the total last battle for, you know what I'm saying?
Two
Damn.
sides.
Yep, that's it. And those 2 sides would have like really, really big tech trees, you know, because they would incorporate all these different units.
Right, it's all the
But-
different. Yeah. I can see that.
Humans fighting alongside orcs and elves against the demons and the undead.
I mean, they
Right.
can just have them separate though, because it's like it's not like the MMO has to coincide with the game, even though the game
Bruh,
or the MMO is
I
supposed
just,
to
I just want to, I just want to say, yo, my boy Genji in Overwatch 2 looks thick as fuck. What the shit, dog? He looks like he's gained some weight. He's wearing fucking gym pants, dog. Those are gym pants with a sweater.
I think it was a cyborg ninja. The fuck happened now?
Look at Lucio, dude. Like Lucio, he's lost weight, dog. He went
He's
fucking
Bravo.
anorexia.
Yeah, but here's the question though: is May still thick?
Probably not.
Let me look. Yep, thickness is there. It's even better actually.
But I don't know, man. I have no.
Not
faith
even
in
a May
Overwatch
fan,
3.
but if May's
I
not
said-
thick, then
I'm not.
Oh, she's thick. She good.
because Mercy's
Do you
best
think-
waifu. But
I mean,
Do you
I agree
think-
with you there.
Do you think Overwatch 3 is? I said Overwatch 3. Overwatch 2 is gonna do any good?
Jesus.
Yes, it's gonna be a third game. Overwatch 2 is a success, guys.
I think Overwatch 2 is going to kill the franchise. They're making the same mistake that. Well, for one thing, it's a total cash grab because like esports games, man, you don't change them. This is why Counter-Strike didn't change for fucking 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, it's a little different with COD because a new game releases every.
It's known, right? It's actually
That's the
known.
thing. Yeah, it's a new game every year, and they don't change a whole like the gameplay itself doesn't change too much. You know, it's still the same game, quote unquote, just with different weapons, a different time period, you know, different models, a different area, whatever it is. But if you want to have an esports game that lasts a long time, I mean, look at, you know, Rocket League, look at Dota 2, look at League of Legends. Like, they're not releasing, you know, they didn't release a Dota 3 when they did the engine change. They just did the engine change.
Yeah.
You know, and the second thing is you don't split your player base. And this is the problem that multiplayer shooters have had for the longest time after things stopped being like expansion, like actual expansions, and went to DLC because they'd offer map packs, but not everybody wants to buy the new map packs. And so what happens is that the people that do want buy the new map packs, they only want to play the new maps, and the people who don't want to buy the map packs, they don't have access to it. So now everybody is playing with half the amount of players that they used to play with, and it kills, like, it kills the games all the time. The only way to get around it is to do like what Battlefield would do, where they would offer the quote-unquote season pass type thing, and they would always do it the same way. They'd release the new DLC, and they'd offer the season pass, and then after a few months, they would offer the season pass on a pretty damn good discount, like 50% off or something like that, or instead of $60, it'd be $20. And so for all those people who normally wouldn't buy, because that's the thing, I wouldn't buy the season pass for $60, but for $20, you know, when I'm looking at Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, and they've got 5 different expansions planned, and it's $20, it's like, all right, yeah, for $20, like, you know, 3 maps each expansion, new guns each expansion, new vehicles, new missions, you know, that's a good deal. So, like, I'd have no problem paying $20 for the, you know, they called it premium or whatever. That's the only way to get around it.
Back
But
when
with-
premium meant something.
Right? But with Overwatch 2, it's like, what are you getting? I mean, you're getting a couple new characters, which should be in the original game, but aren't. So everybody's going to be irritated because, you know, they've been releasing new characters. You know, like
Yeah.
now they're asking you to pay for something that up till now you've been getting for free. A couple new maps, or however many new maps they put in there, which again, like, that's more stuff they did put out for free, and the engine change, which it's like, I don't know, man. I don't see. It's not like Overwatch is a complicated game. I can't see an engine change being really worth,
Needed.
because they're gonna want $60 for that game. I just know it.
They're charging $60, I think.
I
Are
bet
they?
you.
Wait, are pre-orders up for Overwatch 2 or no?
No, I don't think so, not yet. But like, because when Overwatch first came out, the game was only $30, and you could get it on sale for $20. And now it's a full $60 game, even though it's really not a $60 AAA $60 titles worth of content. Like, even with all the new characters, I mean, it's still basically just a MOBA. It's not like it's got a campaign. It's not like it's got, you know,
Or needs it?
no, it doesn't need it. But that's, you know, it's the amount of content that you get for $60 is not a whole lot. And so what, you want me to pay another $60 for even less content? Because, you know, most of the content in that game is going to be the old content. It's going to be the original characters and all the original maps. So, like, what, a couple new characters and a few new maps and the engine change for $60? Like, man, that's not a good deal.
Speaking of which, Dota is kind of flailing about right now, trying to discover what it's going to do next. The patches that recently, I don't know how much you've played lately, but they really shook things up, and people are not happy. And
Really?
so they had 7.23 A, B, C, D, F. They had 6 mini patches in
Wow.
between. Yeah, players are leaving. It's, you know, there's been a slight decline overall, but now players are leaving. That's kind of steepened up, and yeah, and now they have neutral items that drop when every creep has a chance to drop a tier 1 up to a tier 4 neutral, and you have a neutral item slot, you know, that it fits into. Dota looks way different now than it was.
Interesting. Man, that's too bad. I hope they can. I mean, that kind of stuff is hard to pull back from, but I hope they can, because man, I love God. That's besides games that were out when I was a kid, like StarCraft, the original Counter-Strike, Source, and a few others. Like that's got to be the game I have the most hours into, because I'm pretty sure I know I can't remember if I've actually gone over 2,000 hours yet or not, but I'm damn close to 2,000 hours on that game. And like I said, aside from the games that I played with as a kid, Unreal Tournament, you know, Counter-Strike, fucking shit like that, it's
So how
gotta
many
be
people
my
did
highest
they-
played game.
Dude, how many people have they lost in Dota 2?
Let me pull up the Steam graphs here.
Because there's one point where
Let's
like
see.
you could not get into a game. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you hit play, you were in a game.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, last 30 days, 600,000. In April, I'm sorry, in
Jesus.
March of last year, yeah, 660,000. Okay, but in so it's down almost 34%. And
Wow.
Wow.
has it ever been that low? Yeah,
I'm sure it has.
It's almost never been that low. I mean, not
Maybe
since
a few
2000.
100,000, but yeah, exactly. Like maybe a few 100,000, but not fucking over 500,000, dude.
Yeah. So
I mean,
We're,
sure. Like these kind of games, like they do fluctuate quite a bit in a 100,000 mark, but like, wow, that's a lot.
Exactly.
That's a fucking hit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a shame. Although, you know, shit, how long has
No.
Dota 2 been out for?
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
You
Things
know,
things got to change.
Yeah,
Path of Exile is gonna come out. That's. Go ahead, wrap up that.
Oh, you know, it might be end of life for that game anyway. You know.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because it's so good. When you, in terms of MOBAs, you know.
Oh yeah,
So
best
good.
MOBA by far. I mean,
And
here, you know, this
but-
might be an opportunity. I'd say go the Smite direction, where it's third-person shooter controls instead of real-time
Yeah,
strategy
sure.
controls, and remake the entire game. Do Dota 3, remake the entire game. I don't know if you'd have to change the engine or not, because the engine they got is pretty good, but maybe not, or at least like do a tune-up on it, do some improvements, give it true third-person action controls, and see if you can't bring it back.
I only played
that's-
one character in Smite. That was Guan Yu.
Yeah, that's I tried Smite and I just couldn't get into it.
I love,
know,
I love
like,
Smite, dude.
I love Dota more, even though I like the control scheme and all that of Smite better. I like the game Dota a lot better.
Smite. It was good. I never digested it completely.
Hey, guys.
I never
What's up?
really liked them. Sorry, Don, give me a second. I don't like MOBAs. Like, I don't know what it is. I just can't get into them. Maybe I'm just not enlightened or whatever, but I just can't get into MOBAs at all.
Hey, Blue. When are you
Mom
gonna
doesn't
let
love
me
me, I know.
Blue, when are you gonna let me beat your ass with my new deck?
No, fuck you. I'm sorry.
Come on, bro!
I have no interest in fighting you where it's just gonna be, oh,
man.
I put this card out where anytime you fart, I'm gonna do 10 damage to you. Oh, and don't forget, you're gonna die instantly if you breathe oxygen. So
Wait a second, Brem, you wanted to beat Blue with your dick?
That works. That works. You know
I'm
what?
good.
Blue,
I'm good,
let's do it,
dude.
dog.
I'm good, dude. I'm
But you're
good.
my homie, dude. Homies are supposed to let homies beat each other with their dicks, dude. Don't you know? That's how life works.
No,
That's not how the force works.
that's not how the Force works.
That's how my force works.
No, I have no interest, bro.
So, did you guys hear about Sony's new supposed patent that works with an AI that can help you with the game, but it involves microtransactions?
Oh my.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
They're doing something apparently. Like I first heard from Rich, but I checked around. And there's some articles about it out there.
Wait, Is that wait? Is that are they making a game journalist difficulty? What's happening here?
Right?
I don't know, but apparently, like, it sounds like you can exchange money to get in-game help to get past the point by asking the AI, "Hey, how do I get past that?" But it's like, it's also like user-generated. So, like, say another player gets past that, and I guess they update the application with like how they got past it, but they charge money. For it. I don't know, it's weird.
So wow. Okay, so they're going to be taking players' input and monetizing it for themselves. Good job, Sony.
Not sure what the source.
If Sony, if anybody can do it, Sony probably can. And guess what, dude?
Like-
No one's gonna say shit about it.
Like,
I'll
Rich was
say
saying
shit
this
about it.
might come to the
Well, I know
PS
you will, but I'm saying the actual fans, dude, the fanboys, they're not gonna say
Right.
shit about it, dude.
No, they're not. They're probably utilize the crap out of that kid.
They're gonna be like, okay, that's fine.
Like Rich was talking about how it might come to the 5, but Sony hasn't said anything about it coming to 5. They might just be protecting their assets, like when they buy a patent up to kind of fight against competition. Like,
Hey Don, hey Don.
Yeah.
Do you protect your assets?
what kind of assets?
You know, the squishy kind.
Listen,
Involving
Oh,
two
ass
mounds.
assets? Is that I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what that word you use, what it means.
it means Lamar Davison.
Come on, just be a bro. Put it out there, dog. Come on, let's do it.
You're not beating my ass with your
Jesus.
dick. Forget it.
Bruh, I'm not, if
What?
no one, if someone random just came in and no one knew who you were, people would think you're gay.
Right? But that's the beauty of it, dude. Like I don't care what people think. I'm comfortable with myself. I don't give a fuck. You know
Well, that's all well and good. I still don't see the beauty in it, though.
Oh, there's no beauty in it. It's all about relief and stress relief, sir. It's better than your hand. Come on, dog.
Listen, it was like a gamer's
Yeah, I
rise
don't
up
know
moment.
about
How dare you, Pete? Quit trying to put me into
I'm
your
not-
ideal candidate as a male.
No, but it's not shocking that Sony would do something like this.
No, it's not,
No,
unfortunately.
I'm not shocked by it at all.
Sony won't be like, taking down videos that show a playthrough to kind of show how to beat it. Be like, well,
Yeah, they
nope,
will.
service.
Well, they can
copyright
try.
flagging.
I want them to try, actually, because this shit needs to get settled in court.
Wait, yeah, I actually agree with you. Like it needs, or like this is getting out of hand, dude.
Yeah, because
Like, what
I'm
are they gonna
sorry.
do? Are they gonna sit there and take a video down when it's their service playing the fucking game, when it's not you doing it? Like, so they're gonna strike themselves down? Like, that's what I'm
hoping they don't
wondering,
try
dude.
shit through like that. That's what I'm hoping. Like,
Dude, they're gonna do it, dude. I have a sneaking suspicion, like more than likely will happen.
have they
Yeah,
done
they,
something like that
they
before?
would be
Like,
the kind of company to do something like that, and this way, if this service comes out, that would be the exact reason they would use, because yeah, playthrough guides and shit would be the bane of that thing's existence, and so they'll, in order to try and get people to use that, they're gonna try and strike down every playthrough guide and shit like that they can. And yeah, this shit needs to get sorted out in court, because I'm sorry, but playing a video game on stream or whatever, it has to be fair use. It has to
It
be.
is fair
Like,
use.
there's no way around it. Like,
It is fair use, but the argument's not. Like, what's
well,
the
that's
argument?
it doesn't matter which tact you take, because if you want to consider, like, if video games are an art, well, they're an interactive art, and so playing it is part of it being an art. So therefore, the player is in part the artist. So even if they want to try and claim that, the actual playthrough of the game itself, not the code, but the actual playing of the game itself, the audio, the visual, and all that is the art form. Well, if that's the way they want to play it, then the player is in part the artist, because that stuff can't unless it's a demo mode, which, okay, fine, fair enough. You could claim that a demo mode is copyrighted and therefore can't be shown without permission, but not the actual playthrough, because the actual playthrough can't happen without the player. So yeah, because like this has happened too many times where what was that fire strike fire something? What was that developer that was trying to strike down anybody who was streaming their game online?
Don't remember.
I can't remember. It was like fire something, fire
Firewatch, and it was not, like,
Firewatch.
it was PewDiePie that he was going after. He wasn't
Yeah.
after anyone in particular.
Well, but no, because they think they were going after people other than PewDiePie. It went
no,
big.
it was just PewDiePie because the whole the what a Nigerian prince, he said. Nah, he said like I can't see the word. It's
Yeah,
streaming.
he dropped the N-bomb. Yeah. But it's happened
The
other times
N-bomb?
too, where yes, sir. Do you not know the
Which one are we
N-bomb-
talking about? There's so many different N-bombs that
the
we're not allowed
N-bomb
to say
is the
nowadays.
word? But it's happened before too, where like people put up a let's play or something, and especially if it's like a story-heavy game, the developers will strike it because they claim people are gonna would just watch the let's play instead of actually paying for the game. Which, God, that's of all the things.
It's not a really good argument.
No,
I
it's really
guess.
not. It's really
You
not.
know, I got a newsletter from YouTube recently, my email, and they had a video test talking about free fair use. They're like, you got to settle in court. YouTube can't settle that. And I was like, fine, fair enough. But then they're talking about how even if your video meets the requirements of fair use, a court can still rule it not in favor of fair use. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like I said, this shit needs to be settled because,
Like, it sounds like you can argue fair use, and even if it does meet fair use, they can still rule in favor.
well,
of the-
that's
person.
any court proceeding, thing like that. I mean, like you could be charged of a crime, and even if you're innocent, you can still be convicted of that crime. So, just like anything, like the court system is filled with humans, so they're gonna make mistakes. So yeah, even if it is fair use, that doesn't necessarily mean that the court is gonna side with you, but that's a fact of life when it comes
Yeah, you
to
may still not
legal
necessarily
systems.
qualify for fair use. Like they'll say, yeah, you can't do that. And they can sue you, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
just
I-
take the courts on.
I still don't. I mean, I know how it happens because it's a throwback from radio, but I still don't understand how playing music while you're playing video games it doesn't qualify under fair use.
Has it been argued in court though? This whole
I
thing?
don't think so. Like I said, I think it's a holdback because there's a lot stricter regulations when it comes to music because radio is such a limited medium, right? It's not like video where like a news program can be showing a video and talking you through it or making comments on it or something like that. There's really not a whole lot like that you can do with music. And certainly with radio, it's not like there's anything additional you can add to it unless you are actually performing the music yourself, in which case that is fair use because it's a cover, it's not the actual song. But now that we have like streaming and shit, I don't see how, like, because it even happens for like people will make their own music videos, where they'll take like video game footage or something like that and put music in the background, and like that's transformative, like any way you slice it. That's obviously not the original content, and it's been used and remade into something completely different, which I mean is literally the definition of or one of the definitions of fair use.
Yeah, I remember
And yet but again, like I said, it's a holdback from radio. because the regulations regarding audio, specifically music content, are so restrictive. And so I don't.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit.
I really wish
I was looking for that word.
that. Why the hell do I have different weapons now? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, I really would like some of this stuff. I really wish would get through the courts and be taken up to like the Supreme Court level, and we could get some rulings on it that would make it more definitive. Because it's creators that get hurt by this shit.
Yeah,
You know?
it's, I don't know, man.
Have creators got sued for using their own original song that wasn't ripped off or even converted from another song? Like they made something, but someone else heard it too, and like grabbed the copyright before they could on their own song, and they got sued their life away.
Yeah,
I heard something like that happen.
Yeah, some shit like that's happened before.
Stupid.
I mean,
Needs
it
to get better at Call of Duty.
It happens too. Like a real big problem is the way YouTube does copyright violations, where if you get accused of a copyright violation, the accuser gets all the revenue from any monetization.
Not anymore. Whenever
they-
a copyright dispute's happening, it's just frozen where no one gets the money.
Well, okay, but does the person who wins the dispute eventually get the money, or does YouTube just keeping it all?
I'm pretty sure it's just frozen until the copyright dispute ends.
And then
Whatever the winner is.
And then whoever the winner is gets the balance of whatever was earned.
Yeah, which isn't
Okay.
really much considering nowadays
No, but
on YouTube.
well, but this is the thing, right? Like, if there is any revenue to be made, most of it gets made within the first 48 hours or first week or whatever. I don't know what the statistics
I mean, the money
are.
will still be there, whatever the amount was made from the first week or whatever. It's just kept under wraps until the dispute is over.
Well, okay, then that's at least something, because before it would immediately start going to the person who disputed the claim, and people were abusing the fuck out of that because they would just claim anything as soon as it dropped, because they would be then getting the ad revenue for all that stuff, even though it wasn't theirs, even though it blatantly wasn't. Yeah, it was people who had made their own music, or had created their own home movies, or whatever it was. I mean, it was stuff that it's not even fair use, because it's not even anybody else's copyright, and yet other people were getting the ad revenue off of those videos or that content, because of the way YouTube's copyright dispute system works. And that was total horseshit. Like, I don't understand how that ever was the case. Like, why would you ever even make it to where it immediately started going to somebody else instead of it being held pending, a decision?
I remember getting a claim from on my video game music video I made years back that Beethoven's Fifth music in it, and like it got claimed by a website that just had a newspaper article heading on it, and that's it, from like the 30s or so, the 1800s or something. There was like no other feature, just that one picture. I got like a copyright claim. I didn't dispute it because I was afraid they just, say, well, but technically you didn't make this, so, what we're going to do is we're going to delete your channel.
Well, they can't delete your channel for it. The only thing they can do is take down the video, I think.
Well, I think
if something's not monetizable, if something's not monetizable, they'll delete it. But I think that's just a back end to get rid of certain people.
Well, no, it's only the actual content, though. It's not like the whole channel gets nuked. Not unless it's like repeated.
It's if a channel's not profitable, Google can take it down. I was added to the TOS.
They can bite me.
Guys, I'm gonna check out Conan Exiles. Maybe I won't, but I do recommend Age of Empires 2. I gotta go though. I'll see y'all later.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
I'll check it out eventually. Like all things in his life. it's a lot of this show of YouTube is pretty fucking crazy.
Well, it's just like Blizzard. They've got the golden goose, and they're doing everything in their power to fucking kill it. Oh, who's
Oh,
the
and
guy? Who's the guy that started the adpocalypse?
oh, Carlos Massa, he's making a YouTube channel.
He's-
You saw
yeah,
that?
he's coming back. Yep.
Oh, dude, I hope. Here's the thing. I know everyone's saying go to his videos and dislike it. No, I think the best thing you can do is just ignore his YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, that's because likes or dislikes, it doesn't matter. Both of them have the same effect on a channel. They both count as engagement, which increases your points or whatever, however the system works as far as the algorithm goes. So liking
Yeah.
or dislike. That's why it was hilarious when we had that troll that kept making different accounts. I wish he would come back and still do it, because it doesn't matter that he's disliking the videos. Like, it still counts as engagement, and it still puts us higher up in the rankings for
I wasn't around for the apocalypse, or at least I didn't really notice them because I wasn't really making money off my YouTube channel or like with ads or something like that.
Imagine making money on YouTube nowadays.
I know, right?
Or anything at all, really, at all. Not even like sense. Who's this guy and like how did he start the apocalypse?
So
He basically bitched because Crowder called him a lispy queer.
yeah,
Yep.
To sum
Yeah,
it
Well,
up.
there's two
He's
people
a-
that did it.
he's a lispy queer who got salty because Steven Crowder. I mean, the big one was Steven Crowder. That's the one he got real pissed off about. But yeah, Steven Crowder called
Because
him a
Crowder
lispy
made
queer.
money off making fun of him.
Yeah. And so he got all butthurt, and he started bitching, and social justice warriors and the LGBTQ and a whole bunch of other people started
And
bitching
senators.
at YouTube. Yeah, and well,
Like
and
the
you know,
Goon Squad
well, that's
tweeted
I mean,
about
it started with social justice warriors and the LGBT community, or activists, whatever you want to call them.
Why
And then
does everyone always listen to them and then blissfully ignore everyone else?
It's
because
because Twitter's
they've
an echo
got
chamber.
because they've got political clout.
And
they
also
are-
Twitter's an echo chamber.
Well, it's why
political
why
nothing.
are they the echo chamber on Twitter? It's because they've got political. I mean, they are the cause du jour.
They're the
of
verified
the-
checkies. Best way to put it.
Well, they're who the verified checkies claim to care about.
Yeah,
And
because
so-
whenever they talk about these people, like the LGBT people, they always say like they and all that stuff, because the greatest authority that's ever existed in mankind. They, the greatest authority now, I guess.
But I mean, yeah, they've got the ear of the right people, and so those people will listen whenever they hear bitching. And
Because it's a
so-
loud minority. It's a loud
Yeah.
minority that fuck everyone else over.
But it's not just a loud minority, because there's plenty of loud minorities. It's a loud minority that has
The clout. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they've got perceived victim status, and so they can claim that, oh, this thing is victimizing us who are already victims, and therefore that gets people to try to care. People who don't really care but who want to look like they're caring have a excuse, an outlet, what's the right word?
People who just want a virtue signal without taking any action.
Yeah. It's just like, oh man, I got into it. Where was it? Facebook? Was it Facebook,
Heard the name
Twitter?
Clouder before. Who is that again?
No, it's just it's a
No,
here's the thing,
Clout.
it's a loud
CLOUT.
Oh,
it's a loud minority that's in the ear of certain people, the right kind of people, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And it's the right kind of people because I sent Gangster's video, but George Soros actually wrote an article on why YouTube should start censoring. YouTube was Facebook. I swear to God, like everyone gets conspiratorial about him and all that stuff. It's like, man, really feeding it there, George.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if more than what
He
the
lit-
conspiracy
no,
theories
he-
say is true.
He wrote the article. No, it's like not even a joke. He wrote the article.
Oh,
He wrote an article
no.
on
Oh,
the New
thank
York
God.
Times. He wrote an op-ed, and it's like, man, what are you doing? Why do you matter? That's like my question.
But
It's because Facebook is. Sorry to cut off you, man. Facebook is taking the side of free speech, and now because Mark Zuckerberg, I guess, has some foresight. God forbid. And now that Mark Zuckerberg has his foresight, they're going after him. Why do you think they say Twitter is a great place? Because Twitter says no political ads. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, no there's ways to get around that though, and they're gonna fully use those loopholes. But no, this I think it was Facebook, but me and this guy and a couple other people got into this big argument because what was it? It was actually in August that this happened, but I just saw the post for it where Shovel Knight, the new version of Shovel Knight, has they as a pronoun option. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, in August, the developers for Shovel Knight put in the option to use they as a pronoun, right? And so everybody was celebrating this as some big win, right? And I'm just sitting here like, okay, you guys are complete fucking douchebags, and you don't give two shits about trans people because they're all celebrating this as some win for trans people. And I'm like, yeah. So the group of people who have a higher suicide rate than fucking the Jews during the Holocaust, right? Higher suicide rate than the Jews during the Holocaust. And you're going to sit there and pretend like being able to pick they as a pronoun in a fucking 2D side-scroller video game is some big win. Like Johnny/Janie, who's considering suicide because they chopped off their penis and now they've realized that they're never actually going to become a woman, and they've done horrible things to their body and sterilized themselves with puberty blockers and hormones. Like, now that they can choose they as a pronoun in Shovel Knight, that's going to back them off the ledge. That'll be what does it. You've saved them. Like,
Well,
you
no,
fucking cocksuckers. Like, this isn't anything. This is not some big win. This isn't some fucking victory. This isn't like, and even that, like, they'll use the excuse, oh, but it's starting the conversation. And I'm like, the only conversation it's gonna start is the exact conversation we're having here, where fucking activists tell people who don't give a shit about this stuff and just want to play their video games without activists using video games as a fucking battering ram to shove political issues in their face, get mad at the non-activists and fucking call them bigots. People in that thread were telling people who didn't care about this that, oh, if you don't care about this, or if you have this opinion, then you should be fucking ended or shot or fucking something like that. And it's
ended,
like,
my favorite word.
it's like, dude, this is the only conversation that's going to be started from shit like this. Is a bunch of activists getting pissed off at people who don't give a shit, and the people who don't give a shit being fucking browbeaten by activists because all they want to do is play fucking video games. Like, that's not a conversation that's going to help trans people in any way, shape, or form.
And then nothing happens, and that person killed himself anyways. There you go. That's the ending.
Like,
I mean, that's how it works.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
No, it's the reason why it's like that, P, is because it's self-narcissism. It's the way they can make themselves feel better. It's the way they make themselves feel better, like they won, even though, and they always say like, oh, the trans people are always happy whenever, for some reason, in Shovel Knight you can have they as a thing. Even though they always use they, the greatest authority, as I stole from a quote on Joe Rogan now. Is like they always justify by saying they. It's like they never actually point at people or give like who stopped. Like, you know what I mean? It's frustrating, man. Fucking people are dumb. I'm all for like
Yeah.
nuclear apocalypse or anarchy. One's better.
I mean, if any of these people actually wanted to help trans people, if they even know any, they would sit them the fuck
They
down.
don't. 99% of them don't know a single trans
No,
person.
they don't know a single one. But if they did,
They
by
live in
some
their
miracle-
closet. They live in some gay community in San Francisco.
But if they did and they really wanted to help them, they would sit those people down and tell them, look, it doesn't matter how you feel. You are never going to be a biological woman, and that's just the facts of life. So stop trying to become one, because you're not, and all you're going to do is ruin your body and your future for some shit that's never going to happen. That's it.
And I mean, if you really want to be a woman, just cross-dress and be gay, like Jesus
Well, that's
Christ.
yeah, that's the thing. If you want to be a feminine guy, like be as much of a woman as you can be without like, because yeah, it doesn't matter if you get breast implants. It doesn't matter if you chop your dick off. You're never going to be a biological woman. That's never going to happen. So don't try. That's it. Period. End of sentence. And go get some therapy because you need to learn to be comfortable with who you are, whoever that is. Because that's, man, like I said, every once in a while Hollywood gets one right, and it's ironic that it's in a movie about about somebody trying to become something that they're not, and it being totally impossible, and yet somehow it happens anyway because it's a fucking kids movie. But what's the movie about animals? The Zootopia, right? That line from the fox in Zootopia, it's like you can only ever be what you are.
Like, if you reference Utopia there.
It's
It's
true
a great
though.
movie.
It's-
It's a great movie, and he's right. Like I remember that shit. Like it's 100%. And you know what's funny is most of the community that watch that are obsessed with it seem to
Top.
forget. You know, they only like to, I guess, cherry pick their arguments out of it.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
the whole argument about it is
I mean,
they're
maybe
taking
maybe
people-
maybe it should be altered, you know, because it's not like you can only literally be what you are, because obviously people grow and change and stuff, but maybe the line should be you can only ever be who you are or who you can become. But who you can become is a finite thing. It's not, so you know, not every kid can be an astronaut. Not every kid can be a mathematician. Not every kid can grow up and be, you know, president or something. I mean, we know this. You know, it's not some fucking mystical, it's not some fucking
No.
hidden thing that, you know, we're just
It's like
now
the whole
discovering.
thing where not everyone can be special, not everyone needs to be special.
Well, it's everybody is special just like everyone else. I mean, that's the thing. It's, yes, you are special in your own unique way. True, but so is everybody else. And like I said, it's not every kid can grow up to be an astronaut. That's just how it is. And
Absolutely.
you know, I don't care if you want to be a woman and you're a man. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do for you. We cannot change biology. Maybe sometime in the future. Maybe. I doubt it, but sure. Maybe. But certainly right now, that shit ain't never going to happen. So there is no point in doing things like altering your body to try and become one. Because all you're going to do is ruin your life for something that nobody believes this shit. Nobody believes that that a guy with breast implants and a chopped off penis is actually a woman. Nobody fucking believes that shit. 99.99999% of guys will never date a trans woman. It's not going to happen. So why is anybody telling these people that, oh yeah, you should have puberty blockers and get hormone
And the only
treatments
people who say yes to trans, like whatever, they're usually bisexual anyways, and they're like, oh, I just want to dick or whatever. That's what it is. Like they don't even say it's a guy, like a girl. They say, oh, it's just a dude in a dress.
You know,
we are lying to these people and telling them a fucking fiction and then saying it's okay to make permanent, unalterable, life-destroying changes to their body based on this fiction. It's not okay.
No, it's not. Because most of the shit they put themselves through affects them mentally, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it's a huge tax on the mental state of the individual that's going through these changes in their life. And most of the changes that they're doing is usually brought on by peer pressure or friends, you know, people that they know in their circles.
Or
like,
nowadays, your parents
you're not really a man if you don't feel like a man. Like, what the fuck?
or nowadays your parents transition you as a kid.
Or the schools, man.
What is
There's
feeling like?
Oh, that reminds me.
How is
So there
feeling
was
like
a
like
case here in Arizona where like the parents actually tried to do that shit and they almost won the court case, but the judge, I don't know, had a fucking glimpse of reality check, maybe, I don't know, but he ruled against the parents.
It was
and now the
happening in
parents-
Texas where the court gave the guy a hush order, and the only reason the guy got his son back was because it went viral.
Yeah.
And they know what the reason was. He only said like I get the guy or the kid said he only pretends to be a girl because mommy would only love me if I pretended to be a girl. And it's like Jesus Christ, man.
That's exactly
Yeah,
how this
something
shit
like that
happens,
happened
man.
here. Yeah, that shit happened here in Arizona too.
Uh,
Dude.
Geez,
In
I
Phoenix,
never.
in fact, the mother's actually being sued by the state now. Like
Man,
the court actually not only ruled in the father's favor. There was no hush order, and the state is trying to sue the mother for the father for mental damages because the mother put her fucking child on hormone blockers without telling anybody.
Jesus.
And the doctor got fucking fired. He was on the board of medical advisors out here. Nah, not anymore.
man. Sometimes I actually wish Trump was just a god emperor for a little bit and just devolved the Senate and just got rid of all of this.
Well, if you watch if you've watched the CBS bullshit that just happened today, that might actually happen. Because
What?
CBS are fucking idiots, dude.
what happened?
You know, him talking about like
I'm
we're-
saying Trump devolved the Senate and just become king, whatever was the second, or King Trump the first. I support you, Trump. God Emperor forever.
I remember.
I mean, the fucking Warhammer memes are hilarious, dude. With him.
I remember
Nancy.
seeing something on the news recently where like
My favorite. Sorry, Don, give me a second. My favorite meme of the whole thing about Trump versus Nancy Pelosi is like, you remember that one? I think it was like that Greek like mythology movie where Kratos kills Medusa and cuts his head off, and like
Yeah.
uses like he has Photoshop Trump and like Nancy Pelosi's Medusa getting chopped. It's like, yes, I'm all for it.
What were you
Or
saying,
how
Don?
about the? Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Don.
Oh, well, I was saying, like, I was watching news with my mother yesterday. She's watching Fox, and, like, they had this segment where they showed a college student in Arizona that was screaming at, like, supporters for Trump, like, they're part of a school, a college club or whatever. And they're like, all Republicans need to slit their throats. He's, like, screaming at them. Like,
Yeah, dude.
that happens out here a lot, actually.
Yeah,
like,
dude, keep
I don't
screaming. They didn't
understand.
hear the
Like,
first
they're trying to
time.
make a point. Wouldn't it be better to pass out love, not like that? That's like, this makes you look crazy.
Well, you think
My favorite
especially
thing
'cause
is-
that's what they preach is tolerance and everything else. But
I say just keep screaming. Just keep screaming, man. They didn't hear you the first time.
well, yeah, to call them deplorables twice as hard. That'll work this time.
Dude, well, the thing is in Arizona, right? Like, okay, so what's been happening is a large portion of California has been migrating to fucking Arizona.
Yeah, Texas too.
And
It's actually
cra-
different though. No, but
cra-
it's not what you think it is.
but no, just hear me out. The crazy shit is the teachers out here don't have to put up with it. And neither do the fucking Board of Educators. So, like, right now, the Board of Educators, they have a lot of Republicans on the fucking board. And they are not allowing the stupid shit to continue. So, there's actual fucking shit taking place when it comes to these students trying to pull this shit. In fact, all the ones that took place before Trump got his presidency, they were blocking major freeways and highways coming in and out of Phoenix. And
Oh man,
Almost all of them, dude. Check this out. Almost all of them lost their fucking tuitions.
Wow.
Talk about poetic justice.
Right?
That's
That's
what I'm
like
saying, dude.
those
Like, like
rhymes.
Arizona, dude. Arizona takes their education pretty seriously, dog. Like, they ever since this whole thing with Trump's been taking place, like a lot of these people have said, "Fuck it, we're not turning into California. Fuck you and your fucking
Good.
stupid
No, but
shit."
here's what happened. The thing is, it's here's what happened in Texas. It's not here's Californians like show numbers have shown that Californians moving to Texas are voting Republicans. It's young Texans that are voting like who voted for
No, yeah,
Francis O'Rourke.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's fleeing Californians, and it's the young that are being manipulated. It's not these people who are fleeing because they're like, "Fuck that, yo, I'm done."
Yeah, they're not
No,
I mean,
actually
they-
turning the
Housing
state blue.
prices in California like really
No.
crazy high.
Oh yeah, dude, it's ludicrously expensive to live out here, even in a non-city area. Like Sacramento's
Is
fucking
California,
ridiculous.
Like, what's a red state? Is it Democrat or is it Republican? I can't remember.
California?
Yes, it's clearly a Republican state, California.
No, yeah, it's dude. We are
What do the
the
colors
most
stand for? Like, what is red and blue? Which one's red?
Don,
and-
you don't know this? It's-
red. Red is Republican, blue is Democrat.
Okay, yeah. So California's a blue state, right?
Oh yeah,
Why is
One
it?
of the
Why is it
biggest.
that it seems like whenever like I know Democrats like to raise taxes a lot. Is that why the housing goes up in areas where they're kind of dominant?
no, there's
Not
other
just that.
reasons.
Rent control.
Yeah, rent
blocking
control.
of production.
There's other like especially in LA. There's oh man, it's some bullshit. Like the people who moved to I can't remember when it was. It was like the 50s, 60s, maybe 70s. But the people that moved to LA and had houses built and apartments built and shit, they didn't want other people doing the same thing after them because they didn't want their area to get too dense. So they, after they moved to LA and shit, they then made it illegal, or not illegal, but like put severe limits on the amount of new apartment buildings and houses that could be built.
No.
And shit like that. And so like that's one of the like aside from rent control and other shit like that, that's one of the big reasons why it's so expensive to live in California, especially like places like LA and Oakland and Frisco and shit.
Hmm.
Two more dudes came out.
Yeah,
and they
and I mean that's just California.
Chicago's expensive. Like Chicago.
No, Chicago's not that. It's Chicago's problems are not expensive. Chicago's problem is everything in existence is just trying to kill them over there.
Well, Chicago, like they're too busy with identity politics to such a degree that like the black on black crime out there that's so high, they're, you know what I mean? Like if you ever notice, like anytime this show has ever talked about identity politics, even back when Kiru used to go back and forth with us, we always brought up Chicago because Chicago is the prime antithesis of what we were talking about.
It's like no, but it's like the people like this. They usually, it's not about black on black crime because they just don't care.
No. This was just
Because
like anytime we talk about identity politics in this cast, we've always used Chicago because of that. I know it's not about it. Don't get me wrong. I know it's not about it. I'm just saying like it's always been the prime example because of the because Kiru and some others like her like to use statistical data, right? And she likes to use only what was in her area at the time. And so we're like, okay, well, what about this place? Like, if we're gonna use this as a standard, should we use it across the board?
like in like Chicago, because crime in the U.S. is very unique in a sense where it's all in very
Mhm.
dense small areas.
Yep.
Like for like in Chicago, most of the crime is on the south side.
Yep. It's I mean, it is crazy, dude. Like
And it's not like they really care about the given solution because it's just like as long as they keep killing each other and voting blue, there's no reason for the.
but here's the thing though, like, so our U.S. leaders that are on the Democratic aisle, they like to straw man the shit, like, and so when we do it, it's like, oh well, that doesn't account for the entirety of the U.S. I'm like, well, neither does fucking Los Angeles, neither does fucking North or South Dakota, neither does Minnesota. Like, it's just crazy to me that like you use their logic against you and they tell but like
Yeah, and also when they bring up gun statistics, first off, the number they give is like I think like 60-something thousand.
yeah.
I mean, first that's not even that high considering the population is like 30-something million people.
No,
That's like
Yeah.
saying, oh my god, 20
300
people die from falling off a toilet or something like that. You know what I mean?
350 million people.
Yeah, it's like that'd be like the equivalent of like being like, oh, in China, someone, China like has 1 billion people. I'll be like, oh, 5 people died from like stubbing their toe. It's like that doesn't really matter statistically.
Speaking of which, I heard the number went up from coronavirus from 90,000 from 90,000 and it's gone up.
Its infections are high, death rate's pretty high, but
Oh, dude.
I don't know.
There's a
The
whole
data
bunch.
is
There's a whole bunch of stories coming out about coronavirus. So
I had a
Oh.
theory that they released it on purpose because China
Yep.
doesn't really
Yep. No, that's
no,
exactly what
but
it is.
a lot of
dude.
the
Yeah, well,
data,
either-
like right
either-
now,
either they released it on purpose or that it got away from them.
or massive fuck up on their part, which
Or
that's
how
possible.
about a little bit of everything? There you go.
Yeah.
population
but-
control, maybe.
No, I don't think it's population control because China has a pretty powerful government. If they want the population control, they can easily just round people up and just
Yeah,
gut
but
'em.
they couldn't do that without running afoul of like other world governments. This way they could do it without. I could buy it, but
Yeah, but there's other methods though of crowd population than doing the disease that really are using like the coronavirus, which really can fuck up and just rebound and fuck everyone over.
Well, yeah, but maybe there's
There's-
like a cure
there's
out
other
there, but it's only for
methods,
like the
like-
upper tier of people, like the people that like
Maybe,
have,
but it's like
political and
I'm sure that the
Oh,
head of China is
just-
fine, Don.
huh?
I'm sure the head of China is fine. I'm just saying that I don't think it's population control. I think it's obvious. I think it's just a little bit of everything that Brim said. I think it's just maybe a little bit of corruption and just a big fuck up on the government's part. Because if
no,
this is a population control, this is the worst. This is the stupidest strategy they could have done for population control. if
Yeah,
This was their
yeah.
well, no, not
I
with
would-
that. No. It's actually one of the smartest if they want to do it without. It's the perfect
Yeah, but what if it is-
strategy for there being an excuse without them having their fingerprints on the method.
Maybe, but if this gets outbound, China's gonna have to be responsible for this.
What? What
Right
are we
now,
gonna
it's
do?
contained in China and some third world countries.
No, it's
But it's
already in
like-
the U.S.
There's only a couple cases in the U.S. and
But that doesn't matter. It's still here.
yeah, but it's like only I think it's like one. And I think the number is very small because in Canada people were freaking out when it was one person. That person was Chinese, and that body was burnt or something. Whatever happened to that body, it's gone.
Yeah, but I mean, all it takes is one. That's the thing.
Sure, but the thing is, it's showing that the virus is killing more people than it's infecting, which would mean it's just gonna burn itself out.
Yeah, maybe. But
Well, the
There's a-
hospital. I know the hospital. The video that I saw yesterday morning, they took it off of Facebook. The hospital dude was fucking covered in bodies, dog. Like it was just sad. Like people were literally just standing there, fucking croaking over and shit. And like seeing that shit, dude, like tripped me out because the way it kills you is insane, dude. Like you go like this dude went. He was going from normal to like shaking, and then he was dead immediately. I was like, dude, like I don't care what government you are. I don't care. Like these people didn't have a right to die like that, dude. Like that's fucked up.
It's like they're dying like people who used to die from having the plague back in the day. I said back in the day, like the plague was so close by.
I mean, like it's just. Well, the thing is like when I saw it, like it just makes me feel for China that much more. Say like, they
I just-
they were on the verge of a civil war on one of their smallest provinces that garnered more people to move to that smaller province to join them, right? Led by a 14-year-old who is highly educated,
Oh, yeah, it's in
they
Hong Kong,
were
this is-
shutting down the imports and export services to China, causing them to have financial woes, which that if you're in the middle of trying to fight for your freedom, what else are you going to do, right? And then all of a sudden, this fucking coronavirus comes out of nowhere and wipes most of those guys out, plus their family members, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I really think the government had this shit planned. Maybe not to where it's extended now.
maybe-
it's getting even
But-
worse too because one the nurse that posted the video saying that the original one where we got the number of 90,000
Yeah.
she either disappeared or
She
something.
She died
The-
from the
the-
coronavirus.
The doctor that reported
He
that
died.
he
Yeah.
no, like he
He
disappeared.
died from infection.
and
No, he
then
died from
showed
infection.
up. No, he disappeared first, and then showed up in a hospital infected and died of the infection. There
Yeah.
are now pictures and videos of cops and other state police and
Where?
and government going door to door and rounding up infected people.
And just
Yeah.
claiming a warehouse.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
It's good. Any of you guys played Dishonored or no?
No.
I played a little bit of it.
Well, basically, people who are infected of plague would be dumped to this area called the Flooded District, where they would just gut the body and just throw the body into a pit. I'm thinking that's happening in China. Probably that might happen in China.
So
Probably.
so
Gut
here,
the
but
body, throw it away.
so here's one of the things that China does, right? And they've been notorious for doing it, and it's really simple. They copy what we do, right? Technology wise, entertainment wise, they
Smart, 'cause
copy a
there's
lot of
no
shit that we
copyright
do.
law over there.
Right. So my thing is I think they try to copy us in the way we handle our espionage tactics, because America is known for sending over crows into different foreign nations and starting shit. And I think that's what they were trying to do. Because have you noticed that the person that got caught, like you never heard hide nor hair of him again after?
But the
spy?
thing is,
Like he's gone. Like there's nobody knows where he's at. Like I think he's dead, obviously, but
Prem, the thing is, it's pretty common for people like doctors and nurses in China to get the coronavirus. Like it's insanely
Right.
common.
yeah. But
It's not even
to
like a
sit
small
here-
thing.
But to sit here, but yeah, but like, okay, but why would he need? Okay, if that's the case, then why would he need? Why did that person have to go all the way to Canada and get a concentrated strain of it when the coronavirus was something that was already going on in China to begin with? You know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, like I said, I'm not exactly opposed to your theory, but the thing
Yeah,
is, I'm not sure if it's as black and white as like
No,
people
no,
in
I
a
think there's a little gray in
smoke-filled
there.
room.
There's definitely gray in there, dude. No, like, I'm not gonna say it's like straight up fucking, but I will say easily that this is definitely China's fault.
For sure.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe they're trying to stop the whole Hong Kong situation by using the coronavirus, but it's spiraled out of control and messed up. I'm willing to believe that because yeah, sure, China is China's fault, but it's also part of government incompetence where
best case scenario, right? This is only the best case scenario, is if they honor the way they handle their corrupt politicians. So if they could do a full investigation and the investigation's not being done by an insider, but by someone from the outside of an organization, which
that's not
have
gonna happen.
If they do that, there's going to be a lot of people dead because in China, corrupt politicians are killed.
That ain't gonna happen.
So
No outsider. They're not gonna take the head. Who's the head of China right now? Beijing, who's been around for at least forever at this point. Or is
yeah,
that
but you
10 years
gotta,
at first?
but you have to understand, like each province has its own head, like kind of like the U.S. But each province has more than one head, and there's way more provinces over there than there are here in the U.S. So, if the provinces were to come forward and do the investigation, I guarantee you half of the government over there would fucking collapse on itself. Because they'd be
Maybe.
killing everybody.
Also, this could be something like, remember how with the plague, like it was transferred through rats in the sewer? Maybe it's something similar to that, the coronavirus.
Maybe.
No,
I mean,
no.
But we don't know what's gonna happen
there
in the
are-
future.
there have already been experts putting out stuff saying that this looks man-made.
Coronavirus has already been shown that animals can carry the coronavirus.
Sure, but that doesn't mean it's not man-made.
Maybe, but it's like
I mean,
it
look
went
at
missing from of a batch of the coronavirus went missing from Canada.
where's the evidence on that one? Sorry,
I'd have to pull it. I mean, it's
I'll have to
public.
look that up too, because
it's
there
public
was
record.
articles done on it the very week that it happened.
Like, do we have multiple sources on it? Because I don't.
Well, I think the
wouldn't
source
believe just
is the
one
Canadian
source.
government, because I think they had admitted that.
Oh, then I'll believe it. But it's like, I gotta see it though.
I mean,
There
I'm
is
not
strong
strong evidence to suggest that that China stole the coronavirus from, or the sample of the coronavirus from Canada, and then they were trying to weaponize it, and then either they released it on purpose, either you could make the argument for population control, you could make the argument for as a smoke
I don't think it was
screen.
population control.
Well, like
What if it
that's
wasn't
why I'm
directly
going
populated
through
control,
all.
but they thought that's a plus.
That's why I'm going through all the different scenarios, Blue. You could make the argument for as that they used it as a smokescreen to have an excuse to go in and round up all the Hong Kong protesters, or they could have stolen it and tried to weaponize it, and then it just got away from them, and you know.
I think it might be more the third theory. That's what at least that's what I think.
And I think
Obviously, I
it's
could be
both
wrong.
hilarious and an interesting coincidence that the Wuhan biolab, where the coronavirus presumably got released or lost from, has the same symbol, icon, whatever you want to call it, as the Umbrella Corp. It's just blue and white, not red and white.
This might be irony, Pete.
Interesting coincidence. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think that just might be irony, Pete. That's all I'm saying.
So here's the thing: like, I don't take PolitiFact too seriously on it, but they're saying that the outbreak story was false. But then again, you have other major news outlets that have all stated similar stories, but I don't see them being put under the same microscope. So I don't know if PolitiFact's even on point.
That's
here.
a thing.
Wait,
that's
they
the
saying
thing.
what? They're saying what is false?
PolitiFact, they're saying that the article that said that the coronavirus was stolen from Canada and it was weaponized or whatever. They're saying that that's false, and they're saying that
like I
Facebook-
believe
the
PolitiFact
Facebook posting,
about anything.
Well, they used to be good. That's what sucks. Is
No,
like,
I
that's
don't
what
think
I'm
they.
saying.
I don't think they ever used to be good. Just like Snopes, man. They had the appearance of being correct, but they were always pushing an agenda, and you can go way back and see. Like,
I mean,
they have. There are so many things they'll say that something is completely false, and then in the body of the article, whatever you want to call it, they'll say, well, they'll say, oh, it's completely false that this guy said this thing, and then in the body of the article they will say, well, it's true that he said these specific words, but he
no, I
meant,
understand, yeah.
like, it's total fucking horseshit.
They try to tell the writer what he meant when it's not what that was at all. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And other things like that's
dude,
not
I've
even.
read up on
there's-
PolitiFact's bullshit,
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
And Snopes too.
No,
Like, there's even more blatant examples. I just can't remember them off the top of my head, unfortunately.
I understand that, but it's just here's the thing: they have creams that maybe Don say about population control. The only way that this could look like population control is they started taking people that weren't infected and just taking them that were out.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know whether they're taking people who aren't infected or not because we're not in China, and it's not like we can trust the Chinese government to.
They give no data. They give no data because the one party state must not fail.
Well, it's even if they gave data, it's not like we could trust the Chinese with what they say. Like, they lie about this kind of shit all the time. Like, they were lying about this. They were lying about the scope of the outbreak from the very beginning.
I thought it was like 900 people about now, not
No,
900,000.
90,000.
Oh.
And that was first they said it was like 3,000, and then that nurse came out on video and said no, the Chinese government's lying. It's more like 90,000, and now there's an even bigger estimate for what the actual number is. So yeah, it's like, dude, they are layers deep of bullshit.
Because the problem is we just don't know, and there's no way to really know right now, at least.
Is there a cure for this virus, or is that like not officially?
There's a vaccine in development, but like it'll be a year or two at least before that vaccine is. I mean, even if they rush it through, like,
they can't rush it because rush vaccines are worse than.
No, you can rush, because a lot of the time it takes to get something like a drug or a vaccine or something like that approved isn't so much the actual like testing and stuff like that. It's other, it's bureaucratic stuff, and it's committees meeting, and it's this, that, and the other. The actual
What if this virus is manufactured? Like, if it is, what if there already is a cure and that's only available to people they deem important to the Chinese government? Like, they're only gonna give
It's possible.
special people that have like
Possible,
people-
but
people that have,
also
like a lot of money that are like high standing.
Possible.
They give a lot to the government and they like only help people like that. And the rest of that that possibly won't make it could be just be considered weeding out enough people in China to thin out their numbers so they're not overpopulated. Like, it's not like officially, like they're not officially doing it for that reason. Maybe there's another reason, but at the same time, they're like, well, if we lose a few people, that'll help us in the end anyway. So
the problem is the theory of population problems, like overpopulation problems, tend to be false. That's the problem with like believing there's gonna be one big giant
it's
population
not so
control
much
theory.
overpopulation. Just it's like,
Remember this shit where we're gonna run out of water and die in the 90s, some shit like that. Remember what it was?
oh yeah, it's there's all sorts of shit like that.
That's the thing. Like population control stuff is just a lot of it, because a
But
lot
I
of
mean,
it.
like,
the
it might
data
not
is
even
to
be
prove-
population control, like numbers population control. It might just be like, instead of it being a false flag for them to have an excuse to round up Hong Kong protesters and shit like that, it could be a false flag. Well, a false flag to get the population so scared that they don't rally under the banner of the Hong Kong protesters, and they stay, complacent because they're so terrified of, this virus. That should, I mean,
it's
that's
possible they release
that's
the virus.
basically
Sure.
what happened in 9/11.
I mean, sure. That one would probably be more plausible than the other theory. Like they're trying to get people scared to rally with the Chinese government, then they're just trying to kill people because too many people or something like that.
What if they're no company would be stupid enough to test a virus?
The problem is if it has to.
Hold up, Blue.
The
Hold up.
problem is
Hold up. What was that, Don?
No country would be stupid enough to try to do this just to test the weaponization of a virus, right?
no, it'd be
mean,
suicide.
Right? That'd
It'd
be
be-
stupid.
It's not
It'd be
like
suicide.
China hasn't done silly shit like that before.
Yeah, but it would be stupid to do this, especially because
I
you're
mean-
bringing more attention to yourself now.
Yeah, but dude, the U.S. used to test atomic bombs on in Arizona, or was it in Nevada?
They were dropping nukes on cities though.
No, but it was still in our own country,
Is that why Brim has an extra toe?
right?
Kidding.
Yeah. No, but that's different than, for example, a virus, because the nuclear bomb and that's the nuclear test zones that were going on in Arizona and other places. Those are faraway areas. There's warnings, and it's very different than like a virus that can basically go anywhere.
Not really, man.
It'd be like comparing a grenade to like tear gas. Where a tear gas, if the wind blows, you're kind of just, oh fuck, everyone's gonna get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why you can't really compare this to like testing nuclear bombs.
No, I think you can, bro.
Can't
Because-
really, because you can control a
because-
nuclear bomb and where it
No,
goes. You can't
no, you
control a
cannot.
virus.
No, you cannot, because that's the whole point, is that nuclear fallout ended up raining on half the country because of wind and what nuclear fallout does. Like, it's entirely possible that they thought they could keep a small contained outbreak as a test under control, and then it ended up that they couldn't. I could completely see that as being possible.
Maybe. It's difficult to say really because it's just we
Well,
need
one
to.
of-
I wish the
One
Chinese
of the
government would
problems is that
show
this
us.
is China, not, This isn't the U.S. This isn't the U.K., Canada. You know, like one of the problems is that all the things that we would consider implausible because, you know, yeah, the U.S. would right now wouldn't release a you know, wouldn't test a viral weapon on their, you know, its own population right now, but China might. Like, they'll do.
Maybe
There
China
were
did, like
there
I'm not
were
saying that-
credible. The UN, and you know, it's fine, the UN, take it with a grain of salt, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, they're actually pretty accurate with what they state is going on, and the UN had credible reports of political dissidents in China and stateless visitors and other, like, basically people who didn't have anybody that would care if they disappeared getting kidnapped and their organs being harvested.
Mm-hmm. Messed up. You guys there?
Yeah, it's just
Maybe I'm not gonna say that.
Brem's
Maybe like
muted. I don't know. He's, you know, he's probably doing something or whatever. But
or maybe someone just released it just so they could say just a prank, bro.
no, that's crazy talk.
I know. I feel bad saying it. Actually, I shouldn't have said that.
Someone did it on a plane though.
I know. Like, I know they did. They're like, I'm from the Wuhan district. He's like, I'm an artist. Fuck you. You're professional assholes. What you are.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Partially because we can't even get data on this. It's like you can't even make. We're all guessing at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll never really know.
Maybe the history book will tell us.
Maybe
One
the
day.
news you keep the news typically, like, I know sometimes they do this about something. They'll report on something, but then they won't make a follow up report that's a conclusion of what was going on. They just leave it at that.
Nope, that wouldn't happen because too many people are dying right now. That'd be like saying they didn't report on how the plague started because I don't know something.
No, I get that. It's just I feel like, you know, like they'll report on how all this is happening, but then at some point we're not going to get all the information and it'd be like withheld, you know?
So you think it'll be like the Kennedy assassination where we just didn't get enough info until even now, and we're still not even getting a lot.
I guess I don't follow that actually. I've heard things, but I don't know what's real and what's just people talking. I don't know. I just feel like we're not gonna get everything there is to know. Like it feels like we're always kind of like I always get that feeling like someone's holding out on the information, you know?
Oh, somebody's definitely holding out.
We already know some Chinese government's holding information.
For sure. It's just a matter of how much and what information.
You know, sometimes I wonder why can't the U.S. just pull out of trade or like business deals with China, but I guess we're too far in bed with them to do that at this point.
Oh, dude, yeah, we get everything from China. Like, I mean,
It's a symbiotic relationship, China.
do you
and the
like
US
having
is.
electronics? Because, I mean, I like having electronics. Because we get
That's
everything from China. I mean, it's not even a...
Don't they practically enslave their people? I heard they have like even suicide nets over there too. Like you can't like, kill yourself to get out of it.
no, that's the work farms. That's not the work farms. It's like Amazon's factories.
yeah. I mean, again, like there's such a level of complication to this kind of stuff because it's like, yeah, like life in China might not be bad, but you know what? They're not starving on the plains of Africa with no water.
They're doing better now with free trade than without it.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like people have a problem with child labor and sweatshops, and fair enough. Like that's a horrible thing. But you know what? A lot of those people that work at those sweatshops, like their family would starve if they didn't have that job. So
Yeah, because they're thinking of when they think only like they make like what, like $1 or something an hour. They think because they think of an hour over here, $1 is like nothing. Over there, like I don't know, making like $7 from a bunch of days worth of labor is a big deal.
yeah, it's like you can actually feed your family with that.
You can get a pack of rice or whatever it was to feed your family.
You know,
You
on the
know.
note of you mentioning Africa, I'm not sure if this is true or not. This probably is, but I heard like over there, like we've tried to like send people help over there with like food, like, but I heard like militant groups sometimes come along and they take the food and ration.
Oh yeah, it's a big problem. Like
It's like
warlords.
the Middle East is one big divided continent.
Yeah, warlords will capture all of the supplies that we send, and then now they've got an even stronger they've got an even they've got even more supplies to keep their stronghold over, or their
Chokehold.
oh, that's not the right word. That's a place. Like what's the to keep their chokehold over the area that they
That's what I said.
rule
Chokehold.
over. Oh, I thought I heard stronghold.
No, it's not chokehold.
Yeah, it's so many of these things. It's one of the problems with refugees, man. Because I'll tell you, like there's all these arguments, and you get the do-gooders, and oh, we need to help these refugees, and it's like, okay, but here's the problem, right? For one thing, we can't just keep taking it. No country can just keep taking in people willy-nilly forever, right? That's just not a possibility. But even forgetting that, right? So the more people you take, the less people there are now to try and fix the country that they're in, and the worse the ratio is of good people to evil, horrible people. And the more refugees that countries take in from these places, the less it's not even so much of a chance, but the less likely it is of ever getting those places fixed. Because you're just increasing the if there's 10 million people in a country, and there's 100,000 bad people that are ruling that country, and you take 1 million of those people out as refugees, well, now there's that same 100,000 evil people, but there's only 9 million people left.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like a lot of these are just no-win scenarios where you're fucked no matter what you do.
That's why a lot of people try to leave from there, and they go because the way they see it, it is a no-win scenario, and they're just wasting their time.
Well, it's
survive.
The thing is, it's not a no-win scenario for them. It's a no-win scenario for us, because they leave and they're only making it worse for the people who are still stuck there. And again, you're decreasing the chances of it ever getting fixed. And like I said, it's not like the U.S. or any other country can just keep taking people in forever. So, like, what, they get lucky, and then everybody else who's stuck there with the same warlords and everything, they just, oh, too bad. Yeah, that's.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I have no idea whose idea this was originally or anything like that, but I like the idea that, okay, yeah, so a country's, you know, war torn, is a horrible dictator, whatever. All right, so we'll take in refugees. The women and children get to stay. Any man 18 years of age or older, we put them through the same training that the U.S. military goes through. We gear them up and we send them in to fight against the dictator and his forces. And then and we pay him the same as any U.S. soldier. And then once the dictator is deposed of, send everybody back. There you go. You've got your country fixed. You've been, you know, the people who the military age men were paid. They got to fix their country with their own two hands, and it's not like we're just shoving them off the boat with a knife in their hands or anything. You know, we train them and we arm them the same as, you know, any U.S. soldier. We don't have to send. I mean, I obviously will probably still send U.S. troops, but you know, we don't have to, you know, provide the entirety of the military support for that, you know, incursion or whatever you want to call it. And the refugees get to go back to their country after it's been rid of whatever, you know, evil guy or empire or whatever has been causing all the problems.
Mm-hmm.
That was, man, if I was president or in Congress or whatever, that would be
dictator for life.
Well, yeah, if I was dictator for life, that'd definitely be. But I mean, you know, like if I was in a position to be either enacting or helping to enact policies of this nature, that would be the policy. Period.
I'm all for All right then, I support you, Pete. I'm all for God Emperor Pete to take after Trump now. I support you.
Aw.
Do I get to be vice? Do I get to be vice overseer or no?
No, you're too salty. Yeah. Yeah, in my eternal wisdom as God Emperor, I have determined that you are way too salty to be my vice emperor.
Do I get some role in the government at least, or am I here
Sure.
to stuff for scraps?
No, yeah, I'll give you something.
I nominate Brimstone. He'll like say everyone has to snort cocaine off each other's asses. No.
That's the legislation. That's the next legislation. Oh, cocaine is now legal, and everyone has to one little bit every day. Just at least a slice off a knife amount.
But,
It's kind of
alright,
crazy
guys.
though, because
Oh, go ahead.
because in Asia they don't take in anyone, like at
Nope.
all.
Yeah, they're smart about it.
And eventually, they just stop. Everyone stopped asking because it's like, nah, we don't want them.
Yep.
I guess that's it. Are we gonna end it here?
Yeah, we've been going for 2.5 hours. Brimstone's obviously AFK. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Doesn't look like
He's doing
Rev's
crystal meth.
something. And I don't know what's going on with Rev.
He has it. Someone's playing Battlefield, and the others are doing nonsense.
What's Call of Duty game has like a map online that's this one that is a jungle, but there's a lot of water on the ground. You can just hide underneath the water without drowning and shoot anyone that comes down the path.
I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty.
I don't know. I've never even.
Someone told me they were playing a Call of Duty game like that, and it had that, and everyone was just camping underneath the water, so they couldn't be seen.
Never
I don't
heard
know
of
about
that. It's got to be one of the ones I didn't play in between Modern Warfare and this one. Probably one of the. I don't think that's Modern Warfare 2 or 3. That sounds
All
like
right,
it might.
I'll be heading out then. Later,
more like
guys.
Black Ops or Black Ops 2, something like that. Later, Blue.
All right. Later, Blue.
But all right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all later.
Later.